What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 6p. Chapter 101 Rock State, Ming Wang's Talent. Advertise here. Morgans was killed by Su Mu without any suspense. Although he was hiding in an inconspicuous small town, how did he escape from being exposed? Su Mu just gave him a temptation, and he fell for it. He can only be blamed for being too greedy. Human nature is often like this, there is no free lunch in the world. Even if there is, it belongs to the protagonist. Su Mu squatted down, reached out and lifted Morgan's head up, and put it back on his neck. He then casts his resurrection power, bringing Morgans back to life. Without waiting for Morgans to be surprised and shocked, Su Mu directly gave him an order to make him completely obey her, and then asked. Morgans, what is the world government's arrangement for Rox? Is Ming Wang's news true or false? Sir Su Mu, Rox is indeed imprisoned in Impel Down, where there are powerful defenses and traps from the world government, and even Marine doesn't know about it, because the entire Impel Down is taken over by the world government. As for Ming Huang's news, the world government told me that Rox knows where he is now, but it's not clear whether he is being imprisoned by the world government. Morgans told the truth what he knew, but the world government would not tell him the specific news about Ming Wang. Looks like you'll only know when you see Rox. Su Mu is not angry, this is the expected result, Morgans will never know the core secrets of the world government. Can you sneak into Impel Down to meet Rox? Su Mu asked again. If Morgans can meet Rox, it saves him the risk of going to Impel Down. Lord Su Mu, I'm just the messenger of the world government, and I'm not qualified to meet Rox at all. Morgans responded. Su Mu nodded and sighed, it seems that she still has to go. You were prohibited from revealing the secrets that have surrendered to me. Temporarily follow your original method. When I need you, or when the world government and Marine make big moves, please contact me in time. Su Mu gave another order to Morgans. This is so important to him. Morgans is Bai Shaosheng of Pirate World, he can get all kinds of confidential information, which is equivalent to half of God's vision. Of course, the complete vision of God belongs only to the author. Su Mu leaves the town where Morgans lives and disappears into the sea. Impel Down. Now it has been rebuilt, and the shape is the same as before. There are 2 floors above the sea, but the main prisoner is still under the water. Before Impel Down, an old man stood, looking into the distance. Beside him, there were 2 men in black, respectfully surrounding him. Master Vero, there is no need for you to sit here in person, we are here. A fat man in black said to the old man. Indeed, we have already set up a net here, and we have the air force to support it at any time. Moreover, the door of justice has been re-established, and its strength is several times stronger than before. Su Mu can't get in at all. Another thin black man people agree. The members of the Zichuan family must be cautious. Although he used to be just a pervert, but now, his strength and influence have made us feel a great threat. His resurrection ability is really too tricky. The old man's face was solemn, not as confident as the 2 men in black. This has been his style for many years. Always thinking about the worst outcome, be prepared for danger in times of peace, and the sense of crisis is deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. His resurrection ability is limited, otherwise he would have resurrected his father and big brother, as well as those powerful members of the D clan. The fat man in black still didn't care. That's right, the people he resurrected are all flesh and blood, and there are not many strong people gathered. Although they can dominate the sea, for us, it's just a small fight. Once we expose the hidden power, the strength of dozens of Marines is far behind. The thin man in black said proudly. Having said that, there are no chances. If he can unite all the powerhouses to deal with us, it will be over. That's why Master Yim asked me to be in charge of this lure and siege operation, so that Su Mu will not any chance to stand up. The old man said in a deep voice. Hey, of course, just let him be arrogant for a few more days, and when he throws himself into the trap, we will have enough means to deal with him. So what if you have the ability to resurrect, arrest and seal you, so that he can't use it even if he has the ability? The fat man in black chuckled. Master Vero, the other 4 adults asked me to contact Vegapunk, saying that they brought you 100 pacifists, and we ambushed them around the purgatory of the rocks on the LV's 6th floor. Once Su Mu approaches, we will use laser light blast him. Said the thin black man flatteringly. Well, it's absolutely necessary to make extra preparations. By the way, Rox should also pay attention and put on a good disguise. Even if Su Mu can meet him, what he meets is our ace killer. Vero laughed. From his words, it seems to reveal an extremely terrifying secret. It's true that Rox isn't dead, but he is. He only has a body, and his consciousness has been controlled by the world government, becoming their killer. They used Rox to lure Su Mu, not only with many traps and siege, but even Rox's final reversal. This is really a good way. Master Wei Luo, is Ming Huang still alive? The thin man in black asked cautiously. This information is too confidential, even a middle-level employee like him doesn't know it. Alive. Vero narrowed his eyes. Are we imprisoning him? The thin man in black asked again. No. When Ming Huang was about to die, his father used the devil fruit ability to put him in a special barrier. We haven't broken this barrier so far. It is said that the blood of the Zichuan family is needed to break it. However, we use dark matter to erode, and it won't take long to break through. That is, once it is forcibly broken, Ming Huang will disappear without leaving any traces. We still want to study the Zichuan family blood, find their powerful genes, and use them. The old man Vero, one of the 5 elders, naturally knows many secrets. These 2 men in black are the descendants of his family, so he was willing to tell them this secret. Then kill Su Mu directly, and study him less and less. Asked the fat man in black. After all, Ming Huang and Su Mu are brothers, and they share some blood. It's not the same. There is a special gene flowing in Ming Huang's body. It has an incomparable affinity for swordsmanship and an unparalleled talent. It is beyond the reach of everyone in this world. It is too important to us. The old man Wei Luo, his eyes were full of light, and he tightly held the generation of ghosts around his waist. He is a rare evil genius in 10,000 years. At the age of 12, he was known as the world's #1 swordsman, and he defeated all other swordsmen. If his fiancée, Miss Marshall, hadn't betrayed, our ancestors would have it's really hard to beat him. Vero seems to be recalling the old things his grandfather told him hundreds of years ago. Hee. The world today is too gentle. Luo Jia Whitebeard is the only one who makes noises in the sea. As for the world's #1 swordsman like Hawkeye, if he meets Ming Huang, he may doubt his life. Willow said lightly. The resurrection pirate ship, Su Mu returned and brought everyone back to Daughter Island. He used the Devil Fruit ability enhancer rewarded by the system on the gluttonous Devil Fruit ability, making it reach an advanced level. Then, he gave the Empress the right to use the King Kong shield on Daughter Island, and gave the Empress the small protective shield he had regained, so that she could open it to protect herself at any time. Although the small protective cover is small, the protective function is equally powerful. As long as it is turned on, it can prevent Buster Call and Admiral level attacks in this world. The Empress has it. Even if she is caught, no one can touch her hair. After 3 days of warm and sweet love with the Empress, Su Mu gathered everyone on the pirate ship Resurrection, ready to go to impel down. Chapter 102 Dimensional Bombardment Without the Door of Justice. Advertise here. Daughter Island. The Resurrection pirate ship. The Avengers are assembled. On the deck, Su Mu stood at the bow and looked into the depths of the sea. That direction is the direction where impel down is. It is also about the direction of his big brother Ming Huang's whereabouts. At present, the only clue that Su Mu can grasp is a bait actively released by the world government. Knowing that there are tigers in the mountains. You must also go to Tiger Mountain. Behind him, the Avengers lined up one by one, following him closely. Finding Ming Huang's whereabouts is not only Su Mu's wish, but also everyone's goal. Because Ming Huang is the key to uncovering the mystery of the D family, and many blanks can be answered from him. Moreover, Ming Huang's whereabouts are also related to the revival of the D clan and the overthrow of the world government's rule. This is also the purpose of everyone. Whitebeard shook hands with Kong Yunchi, Aokiji folded his arms, Golden Lion's blonde hair fluttered, Rayleigh shook hands with a saber, Zephyr clenched his fists, Eagle Eyes looked ahead, Ace held an orange hat, and Moria's large scissors made a clicking sound. Everyone, let's go to impel down again. This time it must be extremely dangerous, are you ready? Su Mu's voice sounded, sonorous and powerful. Need to talk. Whitebeard grinned, answering instead of everyone else. Okay, let's fly, let's go. Su Mu excitedly raised his fist and waved it into the air. Accompanied by his movements, the pirate ship Resurrection surged, and then rose slowly from the sea. What's going on here? Zephyr yelled. How did the Resurrection fly? Moria stared wide-eyed. Everyone also looked at Su Mu in shock and doubt. The pirate ship can fly, is there anything more subversive than this? And everyone seems to have suddenly discovered that the pirate ship Resurrection was able to use land and sea before, and now it can fly in the air. Doesn't this mean that it can gallop on land, sea and air at will? Don't be confused, have you seen the magic of the Resurrection? Stand still and let you experience a pleasant voyage. Su Mu gave a wicked smile, waved his hand, and the flight function of the Resurrection started. Everyone felt their feet sway, and the Resurrection was shot out like an arrow off the string. Plop plop. In an instant, a bunch of people fell on the deck. Whitebeard, Rayleigh, Zephyr, Aokiji, Moria. Even Golden Lion almost fell to the ground. If he hadn't used fluttering ability to fly himself up at the last moment, all of them might have been pulled down by the sudden inertia. Jayahaha. Golden Lion laughed out loud as he saw the distressed appearance of the people around him. This speed is not weaker than the Air Force fighters of the world government. Is this a huge monster thousands of times larger than the fighters? Aokiji stood up again, feeling the wind whistling past his ears, and said with emotion. Of course, this is only the elementary speed of the Resurrection. When she reaches LV5, she will be able to fly 3 times faster than the speed of sound. When she reaches LV9, her speed will surpass your imagination. Su Mu proudly said that he did tell the real result, and I am afraid that everyone here will not understand at all. After all, they haven't touched the concept of dimension at all. The Resurrection, Pirate ship flies in the sky at a high speed, like an unmanned pilot, avoiding various obstacles and crises along the way, and is extremely intelligent. Of course, she is not afraid of obstacles at all. With the strength of the resurrection, even if it encounters a mountain, it can be directly smashed through. The resurrection changed again, becoming invisible directly. Creatures outside cannot see the resurrection, but everyone on the resurrection can clearly see the outside. In order to verify this change, Golden Lion specially flew out of the resurrection to verify it, and immediately screamed. This made everyone believe that the resurrection can really be invisible. This invisibility is just a visual effect, but it cannot hollow out the entity. External objects and attacks can still touch the resurrection. Su Mu explained again. The resurrection flew invisibly, and in just a few hours, everyone had arrived at the sea area where Impel Down was located from Daughter Island. From a distance, everyone saw the towering Gate of Justice. Hulalalala. Didn't expect the Gates of Justice to be re-established so soon. Whitebeard laughed. This is built by the world government itself. Whether it is the material or the thickness of the door, it has doubled compared to the previous one, and the overall strength may have doubled by more than 10 times. Aokiji explained. He knew about this when he was in Marine. Last time, Su Mu smashed the Gate of Justice enough. What's the plan this time? Rayleigh asked. Is there any need to ask? Now the pirate ship Resurrection can fly, and it can even hide from the detection of the world government. Of course, it will fly directly there and give the world government a surprise attack. Moria suggested first. You're the only one who is smart. I don't want to go secretly this time. Su Mu chuckled, and didn't intend to sneak attack. Although the effect of the sneak attack may be better, but he got the dimensional cannon, so when should he wait? Moreover, Su Mu has detected by using space ability and powerful observation Haki that there seems to be a huge threat hidden in the sky behind the Gate of Justice. That may have been specially set up by the world government to prevent him from passing through the Gate of Justice in the air. Then, Master Su Mu, you wouldn't want to chop it up again, would you? This is a door of justice that is 10 times stronger, can you still chop it up? Moria questioned. Su Mu tried his best last time, and almost died before chopping it up. This time, it was almost impossible to smash the 10 times stronger Gate of Justice. Who said I was going to chop? Su Mu smiled slightly and said, Lousy will smash it. A dazzling beam of light shot out from the muzzle, broke through the space limitation, and directly bombarded the Gate of Justice. A special melody appears. Su Mu walked to the cannon at the bow, and this was it. The reward of the system, the super-dimensional cannon. Everyone retreated knowingly. Su Mu patted it, and said silently in his heart, activate the dimensional cannon and smash the door of justice. After a while, the entire Gate of Justice was crumpled into a ball, gathered in the very center of the beam of light, and disappeared with the beam of light disappearing. At the muzzle of the cannon, colorful lights appeared, cracks appeared in the void, and it collapsed towards the muzzle. No violent collisions. Su Mu reminded everyone to avoid being affected, and the consequences would be disastrous. Everyone, get out of the way. Immediately afterwards, under the shocking eyes of everyone, the entire towering Gate of Justice, crumpled like a piece of white paper, began to collapse and shrink centered on the place bombarded by the beam of light from the dimensional cannon. The rebuilt Gate of Justice, which was 10 times thicker, disappeared from the direct bombardment of the dimensional cannon, disappeared from this world. Boom. No loud noises. Everyone looked and found that the huge and thick Gate of Justice was twisting, and the whole body was covered with void cracks. Just do it. He is really looking forward to how powerful the super-dimensional cannon will be. Chapter 103 Different space appears, see rocks. Advertise here. The dimensional cannon displayed unimaginable power in front of everyone. A direct bombardment actually made the Gate of Justice disappear, which is more than 100 times more shocking than chopping it into pieces. That is known as the strongest fortification in the world, but in front of the dimensional cannon, it is like a piece of paper. Everyone opened their mouths wide, as if they hadn't digested everything in front of them. It's a pity, a mistake, a mistake. Su Mu sighed again and again, seeing the power of the dimensional cannon. He regretted that this kind of dimensional cannon could only be used once a week. He felt that the mistake was not using the dimensional cannon on the steel blade. If this is posted to Mariajoy's world government, will 5 elders go to the west to learn scriptures? It's too late to regret now, but Su Mu never regrets what she has done. Suddenly, in the sky behind the Gate of Justice, laser beams lit up intertwined like a net, carrying a devastating attack force. This is because the dimensional bombardment shattered the Gate of Justice, directly triggering the ambush of the world government's high-altitude laser trap. Seeing this, Su Mu felt a little better. It finally confirmed the uneasiness in his heart before. It turns out that the world government will really be arranged in the sky behind the Gate of Justice. This kind of intensive laser light is harmful to the current Resurrection pirate ship. Because this kind of dense light has already surpassed the intensity of Buster Call, it can break through the shield of the Resurrection pirate ship. It's so dangerous, the world government is really vicious. Moria looked at the terrifying laser light in the sky, and patted her heart with a frightened expression. If Su Mu listened to his choice, he would sneak through the Gate of Justice. I'm afraid all of them will suffer. Moria, I feel like you'd better shut up from now on. Whitebeard reminded Moria in time that she felt that she had encountered a bad star. No, Moria is the light. Rayleigh said with a wicked smile. That's right, as a beacon, it's better than shutting up. Eagle Eye echoed. Moria rolled her eyes at the few people on the side, but she didn't dare to talk back. Su Mu smiled slightly, enjoying the relaxed atmosphere very much. Even though there will be a desperate battle soon, everyone has no burden in their hearts, and no fear at all. This gave him a lot of confidence. Okay, the world government may also know that we have attacked. Next, it's up to you. Su Mu looked at everyone and continued. I will set the resurrection pirate ship to an invisible state, so that you can see her, but others will not. At that time, I will stop the resurrection 100 meters above impel down. Keep it in mind. If you can't hold it in battle, go back to the healing room of the resurrection pirate ship to heal your wounds. Su Mu looked at Monet and said, you pay attention to their battles, and when our people come back, open the protective cover in time to avoid being invaded by outsiders. Everyone, the enemies outside, you can help me, and the enemies inside impel down, I can just go. After Su Mu gave the order, he looked at the crowd and said, Rox, but the former overlord, Newgate, Shiki, you were all his crew members before. Haha, and Rox is also a member of my D clan. I suspect that he already knows some of his true thoughts, so it is imperative to rescue him this time. Kulalala. Soon. He is also a member of the resurrection pirate ship. Whitebeard laughed, confident in Su Mu. Su Mu, be careful, those 5 old bastards from the world government are not easy, they won't let you rescue Rox so easily. Rayleigh reminded. Don't worry, I will deduce all the worst possibilities, even if I will fight Rox. Su Mu said lightly. What, he is fighting with you? Is he crazy? You can save him. Besides, you are the Zichuan royal family, he must submit to you. Golden Lion looked puzzled. Rox wants to be the king of the world. Their family has competed with the Zichuan family before, so he is not so easy to conquer. Moreover, the world government will not hand over Rox to me. I have a hunch that this Rox is weird. But for Ming Wang, I must go. After Su Mu finished speaking, he activated the resurrection pirate ship, turned on the stealth mode, and directly used the flight function to fly at a low altitude close to the sea to avoid hitting the terrifying laser light net in the sky. Impel down. Alarm, alert, the gate of justice is gone, there are enemies invading, prepare for battle. Alarm, alert, the gate of justice is gone, there are enemies invading, prepare for battle. The impel down siren sounded, terrified old man Vero, one of the 5 elders on the roof, and the other 2 men in black. The gate of justice they carefully rebuilt, which is probably the strongest defense in this world, disappeared directly. Immediately afterwards, laser nets intertwined in the sky, indicating that there was indeed an invasion. What method did Su Mu use to make the gate of justice disappear? The fat man in black clicked his tongue. The laser network is activated. Could it be that they are trying to break in from the sky, and the disappearance of the gate of justice is just a trick to confuse our monitoring system? The thin man in black said. Well, I don't believe that the gate of justice will be broken, so they can only invade from the sky, and what awaits them is a laser net. But, can they break through the laser net? Vero also expressed doubts, and he did not know. No. Anyway, get ready for battle, notify everyone to be in position, follow the steps, and wait for Su Mu to fall into the trap. Vero instructed the 2 behind him. 2 men in black, 1 fat and 1 thin, immediately took orders and left in a hurry. At this time, the pirate ship Resurrection had stopped 100 meters above impel down. That guy seems to be one of the 5 elders of the world government, and he came here in person. Aokiji said with a serious face. He had met 5 elders a few times, so he naturally knew 5 elders. Exactly, kill him, Zephyr said fiercely. At this time, Vero narrowed his eyes, and under his feet, blocked by the seastone slab, there were 50 black-clothed Deadpools. Each of them is a powerhouse carefully selected by him, not weaker than the General Marine Vice Admiral. This is an extremely powerful force, especially the 2 leading commanders, who have the combat power of Admiral. From a distance, he could feel the freezing cold in one of the rooms. This time, he directly pulled all the pacifists to a different space by using the space ability, and exiled them. Different space. At the critical moment, Su Mu used her peak space ability and used a new move created by herself to pull herself into a different space, avoiding the attack of laser light. Su Mu returned from the different space again, and softly shouted, different space. And today, it seems that there are no other prisoners in the entire LV6 floor. After Su Mu finished speaking, he teleported directly into space, disappeared from the resurrection, and came directly to the LV6 floor. Moreover, this is not all of the enemy's power, not even a third of it. As soon as Su Mu finished speaking, Rox in the ice suddenly opened his eyes. He was in the huge bone-piercing ice, and it seemed that all his body functions were frozen, without any vitality. Hee. If the sneak attack fails, you will have no chance. Suddenly, Su Mu's hairs stood on end, feeling the danger of jealousy. Don't think so simple, Newgate, I'll leave this to you, I'll go see Rox first. Su Mu said with a frown. Add him, that is 3 Admiral combat power and 48 Vice Admiral combat power. Su Mu walked in, came to Rox, and said lightly, Rox, I finally see you, I'm Zichuan Di Mingwang. After dealing with the pacifists, Su Mu stepped outside Rox's prison room and looked at Rox, who was still frozen. This is stronger than the highest combat power of naval headquarters. Sure enough, the moment he appeared, beams of laser light lit up all around, there were hundreds of them. This is the 100 pacifists who were ambushed by the world government in advance. At this time, laser beams are fired from all directions to attack Su Mu. Chapter 104 Rox's identity exposed, showing the powerful conqueror's haki. Advertise here. In the huge ice block, Rox, who seemed lifeless, opened his eyes. He looked at Su Mu with empty eyes, without any expression. It was like his instinctive reaction. He has long hair, and his clothes are tattered. He seems to have experienced a fierce battle before being frozen. He is tall, has a ferocious appearance, and is extremely oppressive. Have you ever heard of Zichuan Di Su Mu? Su Mu asked again. Rox didn't respond, still looking at Su Mu. Do you know the whereabouts of Ming Huang? Su Mu continued to ask. At this time, Rox's eyes began to change, the hollowness gradually disappeared, and the eyes seemed to regain brilliance. Su Mu is awe-inspiring. It seems that Rox has a great reaction to Ming Huang, and almost no reaction to himself. Tell me, is Ming Huang still alive? Where is he? Su Mu asked eagerly. Since Rox is so sensitive to Ming Huang, he must be the one who knows Ming Huang's whereabouts. Click. Following Su Mu's questioning, the ice that sealed the rocks began to crack. Boom. After a while, the entire huge bone-piercing ice cube was directly shattered by the aura released by Rox. He came out of the ice cube. In response, Su Mu narrowed her eyes. Rox looked at Su Mu, did not speak, but inspected himself, twisting his neck slightly, feeling this body. Rox D. Zebek, do you know your mission? Su Mu said coldly. Rox raised his head and looked at Su Mu with a bit of bewilderment and a bit of anger. It's not Ming Huang. Rox spoke, his voice was stiff, as if he couldn't speak. After decades of being frozen, he could hardly even speak. But his consciousness seemed to know Ming Huang, and he directly denied what Su Mu said to test him before. Oh, you know Ming Huang. Where is he now? Su Mu asked. Rox took a deep look at Su Mu and said, Ming Huang is not in this world. Not in this world. This surprised Su Mu. Could it be that Ming Huang is really dead? World government deliberately releases news of Ming Huang to lure itself. He is still alive, but is in another time and space. Rox said intermittently, much more fluently than before. Please explain in detail. Su Mu said politely. He is in the enchantment, in a state of suspended animation. Rox was finally able to speak clearly, and his whole body was fully adjusted. He closed his eyes and felt the body carefully, feeling extremely excited in his heart. How many people in the world can have such a powerful body and strength? Now, the former overlord of the sea has returned. Stay in suspended animation. Su Mu wondered. Is it on the verge of death, stilled by exceptional circumstances? This is the strength of Zichuan Di Luo Tian. As the emperor of the Di family, as the patriarch of the Zichuan family, and as the father of Ming Huang, he has two incredible devil fruit abilities. One is called Time Devil Fruit, a kind of enchantment devil fruit. He used his ability to stop the time around Ming Huang, who was on the verge of death, at a great price, and then sealed Ming Huang through the enchantment. The blood of the Zichuan family makes it difficult to break through the barrier. Rox told a lot of top secrets in one breath. Oh, really? That's great. Tell me, where is Ming Huang? Su Mu asked eagerly. He's in a special void, probably staying there. Rox pointed at the back of Su Mu with his finger. Su Mu hurriedly turned around to look, but there was nothing. The moment he turned around, the rocks behind him, with terrifying fists, brought armament haki so rich that it could drip ink, and directly blasted towards Su Mu's head. The fist fell to the ground, and the terrifying wind of the fist directly shattered the solid wall of the 6th floor of Impel Down LV. If the reconstructed Impel Down had not been reinforced with 10-meter thick black iron, it might have been completely pierced by Rock's fist wind by this time, allowing seawater to pour in. Su Mu suddenly disappeared from under his fist, but reappeared a dozen meters away. How can you hide? Could it be that you have noticed it? Rox was shocked. He clearly saw Su Mu's excitement about the Rock's news, and he clearly saw Su Mu turn around without any defense. What's more, he has an extremely powerful sense of knowledge, locked on Su Mu, and the distance between the two was too close, and it was a sneak attack, but he missed Su Mu and was easily dodged by him. This seems counterintuitive. However, Su Mu is not at all common sense. Su Mu sneered, your heart betrayed you. Heart, could it be that your observation haki has reached an extraordinary level? Rox asked in disbelief. What is the level of extraordinary? Su Mu couldn't help being curious, it was the first time he had heard of it. In his cognition, haki's level ranges from low level, middle level, high level, to the final peak. I have never heard of which level Chaofan belongs to. At present, his knowledge are only advanced. Extraordinary level is like the awakening level of Devil Fruit's ability. Rox patiently explained, and added. Looks like you don't even know it yourself. Su Mu really didn't know, But after being reminded by rocks, he realized that the observation hockey skill Shinwantong that was previously rewarded by the system was originally equivalent to one of observation hockey's extraordinary abilities. In this regard, Su Mu smiled lightly. Actually, before I eavesdropped on your voice, I already suspected you, and even confirmed that you are not the real Rocks. Why do you? Rocks frowned. He asked himself, and didn't reveal his secrets. Even if he's not eavesdropping, he'll be extremely wary of Rocks. There was no hostility in his eyes, no extra emotion. He eavesdropped on his heart, just to confirm his guess. With trust, Su Mu will not be too wary of him, which prepares him for a sneak attack. Click. Su Mu gave a series of reasons, each of which made him doubt Rock's body. This is one of the reasons why the once overlord of the sea, Rocks, is so powerful. Because you are too eager, because you are too cooperative, because the world government will not be so kind to release the news about you and Minghuang easily, because you are so sensitive to Minghuang, because you wake up too fast, because the world government arresting you can't just be frozen. He is an extremely cautious person. On Rocks, an incomparably powerful aura blooms, that is Conqueror's Haki. He even took the initiative to reply to Su Mu's doubts, helping you understand things related to his father and big brother. Boom. All this is to gain Su Mu's trust. Even though he is another Rocks now, possessing the powerful combat power of Rocks, he is also used to it. But, even more powerful than the Conqueror's Haki cast by Shanks on the Moby Dick. The terrifying Conqueror's Haki is as solid as it is, shaking the walls around it cracks, much like Redhead Shanks' Conqueror's Haki. With so many reasons coming together, how could Su Mu be so foolish as to believe that this guy is the real Rocks? Chapter 105 Rocks vs Su Mu. Advertise here. Rocks showed off a powerful Conqueror's Haki, one level above Su Mu's current advanced level. In other words, Rocks' Conqueror's Haki has reached its peak level. In this world, it is already rare. Su Mu felt Rocks' powerful Conqueror's Haki, and his heart was shocked. Sure enough, he is the overlord of the sea. This kind of momentum, most people can't bear it. However, although his conquerors are weaker, he is not afraid of the Rocks' Conqueror's deterrence. Since the sneak attack fails, I have no choice but to kill you. Rocks is loud, with powerful confidence. Hee. I really want to know, who are you? Su Mu asked with a sneer. Rock's current body is his own, but his consciousness is someone else's. Guess. The corners of Rock's mouth twitched with extreme arrogance. It's going to be difficult. But guess what, it must be an old bastard. Su Mu teased impolitely. Whoever he is, let's talk about it first. You're an old bastard, Rocks retorted angrily. It seemed that she was extremely dissatisfied with this title, which made Su Mu squint her eyes. Well, I guessed wrong, you might be an ugly monster. Su Mu gave the scorn again. Your whole family is ugly. Rocks vehemently retorted. This time, he seemed even angrier than last time. Oh, I see. You are an old woman. Suddenly, Su Mu seemed to understand the identity of the consciousness in Rock's mind. She doesn't like others to say that she is an old woman, and she doesn't like to say that she is ugly, it must be a woman. The love of beauty, every woman is not exempt. So he concluded that this consciousness must be an old woman. After all, being able to make Rock's consciousness disappear, forcefully occupy Rock's body, and be more scheming is definitely a lot of age. You're the old woman. This time, Rocks was even more emotional. Boom. Angry, he directly raised his fist and smashed at Su Mu with terrifying force. Boom. Su Mu dodged, and Rocks punched Impel Down's black iron reinforced wall, smashing the 10-meter thick black iron into a deep hole, almost piercing directly through the black iron wall. Hiss. Su Mu gasped. Good guy, this power is really strong. This armament Haki is really the pinnacle. He asked himself, the current self could not do it with only his own strength and fists. However, Su Mu was even more puzzled. This guy seems to be very upset with the word old. Isn't she old? Young woman. Beautiful woman. Tisk tisk. Su Mu looked at Rocks now, with a strange light in his eyes, directly making Rocks even angrier. It should be said that the woman in his mind was even angrier. Because of Su Mu's eyes, there is a sense of mischief and mischief. Whoosh. Rocks moved and disappeared from the spot, leaving an afterimage behind Su Mu. His speed is so fast that ordinary people's eyes can't react. But for Su Mu, it's not enough. The moment Rocks moved, Su Mu also disappeared, and appeared behind Rocks the next moment. I'm used to being at the back, after all that way I can control the rhythm better. Su Mu's voice sounded. Rocks froze, as if he wasn't used to being said that. This, to her, was a great molestation. Unforgivable. You offended the great god, even if you belong to the D family, you must be punished. Rocks snapped. He exploded with aura, reached out and pulled out the knife from his waist. The knife has always been by his side, and the world government has not taken it away. Conqueror's Haki winding. His knife cut towards Su Mu. Su Mu used his space ability again, and teleported directly, dodging the slash. Boom. Impel Down's reinforced black iron wall was directly cut through. This is about to reach the firmness of the earliest gate of justice. Now, it was cut to pieces by Rocks. Am I wrong? You are definitely an old monster. Su Mu is sure that this woman is definitely not young. It's just that her behavior is not calm sometimes. Could it be? Is she an old monster similar to Tianshan Child Elder? Have a lowly body, have a girlish heart, but the real age is already very old. Otherwise, how to explain her abnormal behavior now? HMPH, you're doomed. No one can save you. Rox snorted coldly, as if he didn't want to talk too fast. The powerful strength of Rox blooms, top-level conquerors hockey and armament hockey, powerful physical and sword skills. These are all the capital for him to dominate the sea. Now, he and Su Mu are fighting fiercely, and the whole impel down is shaken. The seawater has poured down from the sea to the 6th floor, and spread upward from the 6th floor. Golden Light Avenue. Su Mu had no choice but to use the ability of the mysterious heavy sword, and the Golden Road collided with Rox Conqueror's hockey slash. This time, the collision directly cut Impel down from the middle of the LV6 layer upwards, directly cutting Impel down in half. Rock's swordsmanship and physical skills are unstoppable, completely reproducing the peak Whitebeard. And Su Mu didn't just dodge blindly. After so many sign-in rewards, his strength is no longer weaker than Whitebeard. Even, relying on means, his strength can already match the teaming of two admirals. This seems to be more difficult for Whitebeard to do. Outside the Impel down, Whitebeard led the crowd to attack Vero, one of the 5 elders. Unexpectedly, there were many strong men ambushing around Vero. In the ground under his feet, there are also many strong men in black ambushing. These powerhouses are all secretly cultivated by the world government, and their strength is extremely powerful. They are all talents cultivated by the training system established hundreds of years ago. Among the 10,000 people, after 10 years of fighting, there is finally one strong person left. Each of these people has experienced countless fights and killed a bloody road. So everyone has great combat experience, strength and ability. Everyone can single out the naval headquarters vice admiral. There is even an existence comparable to admiral. In an instant, hundreds of men in black surrounded Whitebeard and killed them frantically. This is what the world government has already calculated. However, they still underestimated the power of Whitebeard and the others. Even though among the strong men in black here, there are only 10 admiral-level fighters and hundreds of vice admiral-level fighters, they still have not achieved results. Not even a single Avenger was killed. Boom. Impel down was cut in half, indicating that the battle between Su Mu and Rox was fierce, which made Vero frown, showing a little worry in his heart. My lord is just a ray of consciousness occupying Rox's body, and can only use Rox's own combat power, but cannot use her own abilities. Can she kill Su Mu? Vero thought secretly. On the broken LV6 floor of Impel down, Su Mu and Rox punched each other, and he was directly blown away, hit the reinforced wall, and several ribs were broken. Whether it is power or hockey, he is still a little worse than Rox. But this little injury is nothing to Su Mu. At this moment, Su Mu chuckled, and took out a headgear out of his pocket. Bald headgear. He put it on his head slowly, looking like a bald head. Immediately afterwards, he tore off his coat directly, and wore a bodybuilding hero uniform inside. Haha. In his coat pocket, he held a cloak in his hand and draped it over his shoulders. Chapter 106 Playing Saitama and giving New World a middle score. Advertise here. You, what are you doing? The corner of Rock's mouth twitched, surprised by Su Mu's funny performance. In the battle of life and death, this guy is still in the mood to play tricks. The bald head is very bright, the fitness clothes are also very figure-defining, and the red cape is very cool when it is flying in the wind. But, is it useful for this battle? Rock's eyes looked at Su Mu like a fool. Old monster, based on your experience, shouldn't it behave like this? Su Mu was surprised. What he was facing was the absolute strongest in the world government, the person who could occupy Rock's body was absolutely not easy. In this battle, shouldn't it be considered that Su Mu was playing tricks? However, Rock's eyes are definitely not fake. Now, Su Mu couldn't figure out the old monster opposite. This character does not seem to be a calm person, but more emotional than rational. I just think, you're boring. Rox said, rolling his eyes at Su Mu. Bored. Su Mu chuckled. It seems that the old monster really doesn't understand humor and life. Su Mu felt that she was absolutely alone and rarely had contact with outsiders. Don't you feel that my chest muscles are full? Su Mu can hold her head up high, show her explosive muscles, and almost explode her hero costume. The corner of Rock's mouth twitched, he couldn't bear it anymore. He rushed to Su Mu again, raised his fist, and responded to his dislike for Su Mu with his powerful fist. In this regard, Su Mu did not evade this time, but stood still. He raises his fist and collides with Rock's fist. Boom. With a loud noise, Su Mu and Rox retreated at the same time, evenly matched. This surprised Rox. His powerful fist was actually blocked by Su Mu. How can that be? Just now, his fist made Su Mu very embarrassed. But this time, Su Mu blocked it without much effort. Why did your strength suddenly increase? Rox was puzzled, and continued to ask, what the hell are you? Su Mu looked at his fist with satisfaction, and said lightly, I'm just a hero driven by interest. Rox, let me see again, what are you doing? Rox stepped forward and struck again, this time on his fist. Armament hockey was more intense, twice as powerful as before. Su Mu smiled lightly and raised his fist again. Ordinary. Boom. The two fists collided again, and then they both backed away, again evenly split. This puzzled Rox even more. The power of Su Mu's fist seems to have increased accordingly. Did he hide his strength before? But, Rox's fist, in this world, is definitely within one hand. Because, this is the combination of body, hockey, and strength. It requires long-term honing and absolute talent. Such as Garp, Kong, Whitebeard et al. Those strong men have all gone through countless fights, and it took decades of honing to have their current combat power. But Su Mu, at this age, is absolutely impossible to reach this level. You, such a master, how did you do it? Rox asked again. He knew that Su Mu was the prince of the Zichuan family, who was resurrected 17 years ago. In just 17 years, no matter how hard he trains, it is impossible for him to improve his strength, hockey, and body to this level. Even his big brother, the existence of the evildoer with kendo talent, is just the strength of hockey and swordsmanship, and the power is only raised later. I'm no expert at all. I just spend the time that other people spend on grooming their hair to practice. Su Mu spread her hands helplessly. Since it is necessary to perform well, not only the appearance, but also the catchphrase must be in place. Only in this way, the power he gains will be even greater. Rox. This is completely nonsense. This guy still had hair just now, and he just put on a bald holster for himself not long ago. Ahem. You don't understand, the real strength of human beings is self-change. Su Mu seriously fooled with the words of the bald-headed demon king. Anyway, he found it very interesting to see Rox's weird expression. A fierce, domineering, burly monster-like figure with the expression of a willful little girl. Su Mu seems to have seen this kind of contrast in a certain movie. It seems that it is a hit anime movie, which was released during the summer vacation and broke many records. There is such a similar rough guy inside. The veins on Rox's forehead popped up, and finally he couldn't bear it anymore. He raised the knife directly, and the Peak Conqueror's hockey was entangled. It's coming again. Su Mu narrowed her eyes. Rox's slash was too fierce, even more dangerous than his fist, and could even cut through 10 meters of iron. His powerful Conqueror's hockey locks Su Mu and the slash comes. The aftermath of the red and black slash cut a deep gap in the ground along the way. I'm going to be serious. Su Mu clenched his fists and said seriously as he watched the chopping attack towards him. He raised his fist, with a special white light on his fist, and directly bombarded Rox's terrifying slash. Boom. Fist collided with slash, white collided with red and black. Click. The red and black slash shattered. The white light rushed towards the front of the shattering, sending out a fierce fist wind, directly shattering the half of the LV6 prison behind Rox. Rox's long hair was blown up by the strong wind, and the hairs on his whole body stood on end. There is a feeling of survival after disaster. What kind of fist is this? This power is too outrageous, right? He seriously suspected that if Su Mu had punched him so seriously just now, his arm might have been crippled. Is it only to this extent? Su Mu muttered dissatisfied. He didn't know whether he played too hot chicken, or because teacher Saitama was too powerful and was suppressed by the rules of this world. A serious punch, not to mention giving this world a middle score, at least give this sea a middle score. However, to his disappointment, this punch was only slightly stronger than Rox's slash. If outsiders knew about Su Mu's muttered dissatisfaction, he would probably be mobbed and attacked. Versailles. Being able to defeat the strongest attack of Rox is already the ceiling power of this world. Rox, I need you to come back. Old monster, stop playing, you can go back, I hope we will meet again one day. Su Mu took a step forward, her momentum blooming, her bald head was a little bit bright in the strong wind. He raised his red cloak and looked serious. Continuous, serious punches. Su Mu waved his fists in a frenzied boxing. In front of Rox, countless red fists magnified, occupying his eyes. Boom. The fist shadow disappeared. The battle is over. Rox became a puddle of mud. The consciousness in his head shattered. And starting from Impel down, an avenue across the sea directly divides New World into the middle. Chapter 107 Resurrection Rox. Advertise here. The terrifying scene that appeared from the bottom of the Impel down made the hairs of the people fighting on it stand up. This kind of power, if they are in it, I'm afraid there will be nothing left. Whitebeard and others, together with the powerhouses of the world government, temporarily stopped their hands and looked towards the end of the sea together. That terrifying force plowed the sea into a road that could not be seen at the end. Su Mu was down below. All right. Rayleigh muttered to himself. Maybe, with his ability, he should be able to dodge. Even Hawkeye, who has always had a unique vision, is not sure. What kind of means did the world government arrange below? Ancient weapon. Aokiji frowned. I just sensed the breath of Rox and his hockey, it seems to be fighting. Golden Lion said seriously. He looked at Whitebeard, and he knew from Whitebeard's eyes that what he said was not wrong. I sensed Rox, it seems to be fighting Su Mu. Whitebeard looked serious. Su Mu went to rescue Rox. Although the purpose was to find Mingwang's whereabouts, it was necessary to get Rox out of the control of the world government. Is there something wrong with Rox? Rayleigh's eyes widened. What a plan. At this moment they seem to understand that rocks, the bait, is actually the trump card to besiege and kill Su Mu. I don't know if Su Mu has been attacked by surprise. Hawkeye showed worry. This reversal made them unable to think of it. If Su Mu got caught, it would be a disaster. Probably not. I felt that Su Mu, who fought against the rocks, did not lose much momentum. He must have not been injured. Whitebeard gave everyone an analysis, which made everyone breathe a sigh of relief. At the bottom of Impel Down, in a huge space cage, Su Mu stood inside. In front of him was Rock's broken body. Consecutive serious punches are really scary. Su Mu sighed. The similarity of his role is not high, and Saitama's power is still suppressed by this world, but he still has such a powerful power. From now on, this will be one of his trump cards. However, Su Mu feels that this kind of power cannot be obtained every time, and the power obtained in the next performance may be greatly reduced. After all, the power of other worlds will be rejected by this world, and the more they appear, the more they will be suppressed. So Su Mu decided that it is better to use less in the future, and use good steel on the blade. He crouched down in front of Rock's shattered body, and put his hand on the only head that wasn't shattered. This is the result of Su Mu deliberately, otherwise Rocks would not be able to keep his head. Su Mu activated the resurrection ability and began to resurrect Rocks. The power of resurrection surged out of his body, establishing a secret flow bridge between Su Mu and Rocks, allowing Su Mu's consciousness to directly communicate with Rock's consciousness. Rocks D. Zebek, come back quickly. Su Mu's consciousness called. In the dark and silent depths, Rock's consciousness was awakened by Su Mu. Who's calling me? Rock's consciousness responded. It's me, Zichuan Di Su Mu, Ming Huang's younger brother. Su Mu introduced. Ming Huang's younger brother. That's Su Mu. Rock's consciousness was puzzled, and he continued to speak. Aren't you dead for hundreds of years? Why are you talking to me here? I'm resurrected, and I'm looking for you here specifically to resurrect you. Su Mu went straight to the point. Resurrect me? Are you kidding me? My spiritual consciousness has been destroyed irreversibly. Rocks sneered at himself. It doesn't matter. Since I can resurrect you, I can resurrect you. Otherwise, your consciousness fell into this dark and silent place, how could I find it? Su Mu said lightly. It makes sense. Why do you want to resurrect me? You know, hundreds of years have passed since the D family was destroyed, and the world government has wiped everything out. Although I know the truth, I don't have a mission that I must undertake. Rocks was puzzled and couldn't understand Su Mu's purpose in resurrecting him. He has already made it very clear that he will not abide by the mission of his predecessors and support the Zichuan family. Haha, ever since we met, your mission has been fulfilled. Rocks, are you willing to die just like that? The rule of the celestial dragons has not been overthrown, and there is no trace of the D clan in this world. It's not fair, Su Mu said in a deep voice. The Rocks family is powerful. Although they once competed with the Zichuan family, they have a strong sense of honor of the D clan. In the face of foreign enemies, they will not hesitate to defend the D clan. Of course I'm not reconciled. I wanted to overthrow the world government, but unfortunately, Luogia and Garp stopped me. I know that even if they don't stop me, with my strength at the time, I would definitely die. Rocks sighed. World government is really horrible. It doesn't matter how scary it is, wasn't it the strong man who was most afraid of my D family back then? When you come back to life, step over Mariajoy with me. Su Mu said fiercely. The wish is beautiful, just think about it, what qualifications do you have to fight against the world government? Rocks asked back. As a person who knows the truth, he certainly knows that when the D clan was defeated by the world government, it still had a very strong influence. Rocks, since I can resurrect you, of course I can resurrect the rest of the D family, including my father and big brother. Su Mu was a little proud, this is one of his ultimate goals. Only by resurrecting the strong men of that era can the world be turned upside down. Let me tell you, Mingwang is in the Valley of Gods. With the traction of Su Mu, Rock's consciousness returned smoothly from the dark and silent place. Haha, I see, you resurrected me because you wanted me to tell Ming Huang's whereabouts. Rocks laughed. Su Mu said in a deep voice. Rocks, return your consciousness quickly. Who the hell did this? Hey, the meat is still fresh. Could it be that my body was smashed to pieces not long ago? However, he was horrified to find that he had only one head left, and the rest were broken bodies. Now, Su Mu's resurrection ability has reached its peak, and it is much easier to repair the body than before. Su Mu clenched her fists tightly and murmured to herself, brother, hold on, I'll be right there. Rocks told Su Mu, the Valley of the Gods is an extremely important stronghold of the world government. There are extremely powerful experts they specially cultivated there, as well as the research on life, genes, and abilities. I wanted to destroy the Valley of the Gods back then. Huang was liberated, but he was buried there in the end. Let him be resurrected, that is, the eagle spreads its wings without any scruples. Su Mu was too lazy to take a chance on Rocks. The power of resurrection in the body poured into Rock's head, and then down the neck. Start repairing Rock's body. I will resurrect you while you tell me. 10 minutes later, Rock's body recovered and was full of life again. That's right. Rocks, where is Mingwang? Su Mu asked. The Valley of the Gods has disappeared since you died. Was it because you were afraid of being exposed? Hee. No matter how well it is hidden, I can still find it. He is afraid that Su Mu will go back on his word. You resurrect me and I'll tell you. Rox said of the terms. Therefore, resurrecting Rox is not difficult for Su Mu today. Chapter 108 Rox on board, Su Mu's acquisition. Advertise here. Rox revived, and the impact was huge. He is not only the former overlord of the sea, but also a representative figure of the D family who knows the truth. His resurrection has a profound impact on the pattern of the sea in the world. Okay, I've also told you the answer. Thank you again for resurrecting me. As for how to rescue Ming Wang, I'm sorry I can't help. The power of the world government is not something I can contend with at the moment. Let's just leave now. Rox bowed to Su Mu with a sincere attitude, without the arrogance and domineering towards others. This is not mainly because Su Mu resurrected him, but Su Mu's identity. Rox knows the truth, and the mission of the bloodline still has a great influence on him, so he respects Su Mu very much. But after all, today is different from the past. It is impossible for him to follow the Zichuan family and become an enemy of the world government when his power is too weak. Rox, are you willing? Su Mu asked back. Of course I'm not reconciled. I haven't become the king of the world yet, I haven't overthrown the world government, and killed the celestial dragons. So what? I am not qualified to compete with the world government at the moment. I can only hope for the future. Rox responded. Although he was not reconciled, but for the time being he had to go into hibernation. After learning the lesson from last time, he was finally resurrected, so he wouldn't be so stupid to seek death again. Haha. Idiot. The idiot of the Rox family. Su Mu taunted mercilessly, and said coldly, are you afraid of death? Rox looked at Su Mu angrily, but when he saw Su Mu's sharp eyes, the depths of his blood, even the depths of his soul trembled. It was the fear of Su Mu. I'm not afraid of death, I just have to wait until the time is right. Rox bit the bullet and responded to Su Mu, sweating profusely on his forehead. It doesn't matter, whether you are afraid of death or not, the result is the same. Rox, submit to me, follow me to overthrow the world government, and kill the celestial dragons. Su Mu said in an unquestionable tone. He didn't use the loyal orders given by the system, but just relied on his momentum. For the top players, Su Mu is more willing to try to conquer with charm. Su Mu, I'm not those ancestors, and I don't need to be respected by the Zichuan family. I am the overlord of this sea, how can I submit to others? Rox insisted on carrying the pressure from Su Mu's bloodline said. Haha, Rox, when do you think this year is? You have been dead for 40 years, the sea has long changed, and you can still be the overlord. Su Mu sneered, and continued. You are so strong that you even needed the cooperation of Luogia and Garp to defeat you back then. But, the sea is no longer the same today. There are strong people coming out in large numbers, and there is a new overlord. Everything is because of me. Your overlord will never be obtained again. I've said it a long time ago, sooner or later you will have to shoulder the mission, because I have come to see you. Su Mu shouted. If I can resurrect you once, I can resurrect you thousands of times. Rox, this sea, you can still continue to act recklessly. I am your greatest support. The world government can't kill you. Rox's eyes widened. He hadn't turned his head just now, but now after Su Mu reminded him, he knew the reason why Su Mu said he was an idiot just now. Yeah, what is he afraid of? What is he worried about? If Su Mu doesn't die, he won't die. Su Mu can revive him infinitely, and he can keep making the world government pay the blood price. It's an extremely alluring vision. However, there is a premise for all this, that is to surrender to Su Mu. Rox looked at Su Mu, feeling conflicted and hesitant. At this time, Su Mu took out a phone bug and turned on the projection function, and the scene on the screen made Rox freeze in place. Because, the projected picture is exactly the picture of Su Mu smashing Rox into pieces and combing New World in the middle with continuous serious punches. This deeply shocked him. Su Mu's combat power was beyond his imagination. You died before, but only your consciousness died, and your body still exists, occupied by the powerful of the world government. The scene just now was a battle between you and me. Su Mu explained lightly. Rox understood that he was controlled by the world government before, and Su Mu killed that self. Then he resurrected himself. In this way, he is truly a newborn. Now, whether it is blood mission or strength, he is not as good as Su Mu. He has no reason not to surrender. Thump. Rox, the former overlord of the sea, knelt down in front of Su Mu. He is finally willing to follow Su Mu and become a member of his subordinates, just like his ancestors became members of the Zichuan family. Get up, Rox. Su Mu happily helped Rox up. The excitement in his heart was indescribable. Rox, after his rebirth, was an important person who truly conquered the D family. This also indicates that he may conquer more D family members, and even be able to gather all the existing D family members. That will be a new beginning. For the world government, there will be a new nightmare. Rox, my pirate group is called the Avengers. There are already several people on board, even some of your old friends. We will meet you soon. Su Mu introduced to Rox. On his ship, there are two strong men, Whitebeard and Golden Lion, who were both crew members of Rocks back then. He was looking forward to what an interesting scene it would be for these few people to meet again. Anyway, we will meet soon. Ding. Revive Rocks, subdue Rocks to board the ship, reward 30 resurrection points. Ding. Sign in on the Rocks fist, speed plus 10, strength plus 10, physical strength plus 10, combat awareness plus 10. Additional rewards include 2 bottles of Devil Fruit Ability Enhancer, applicable below the peak level, a bottle of Armament Hockey Enhancer, a bottle of Conqueror's Hockey Booster. Ding. Sign in on IM's Consciousness, reward speed plus 100, strength plus 100, body strength plus 100, combat awareness plus 100, and an extra reward of Devil Fruit. In Su Mu's mind, the rewards of the system arrived as expected. This time, the resurrection points that Su Mu got for conquering Rocks are astonishing, even 30 points, which is of great significance. Su Mu checks the system and finds that it takes 70 points to upgrade the pirate ship to level 5, and he needs 40 points to upgrade the resurrection again. It's already hard. Because of ordinary people, only a few points are subdued. He still needs several talents to reach full points. And Su Mu is the kind of picky person, casual people can't get into his eyes at all. This can only come slowly. As for the additional Hockey Booster and Devil Fruit Booster, Su Mu didn't hesitate at all and used it directly. Now, his eyesight ability has reached its peak, and his gluttonous Devil Fruit ability has also reached an advanced level. He now has 5 Devil Fruit abilities, Resurrection, Space, and Eye abilities are all at the peak. There is no need to improve his performance, and Teoti has reached an advanced level. And his current Hockey, Knowledge Color Advanced, Armed Color and Conquerors are already at their peak. As for various physical qualities, only physical strength, speed, and combat awareness have already surpassed the ordinary Admiral level, which can be regarded as the top Admiral level. Chapter 109 Rocks Thunderbolt, Beheading the Admiral Level Powerhouse. Advertise here. It turns out that the consciousness occupying Rock's body is actually the mysterious I Am. After Su Mu focused on himself, he suddenly recalled that the system's voice had mentioned I Am. What ability does she have? Why is it possible to occupy other people's bodies with consciousness? Isn't this just taking away? Who is her identity? So mysterious. Su Mu didn't expect that I Am as a woman, and he flirted with her just now. In the original plot, Old Dog Oda didn't draw whether she was a man or a woman at all. As for other information, I don't even know. Therefore, Su Mu's cognition of I Am is also blank. Fighting with Im's consciousness, triggering the sign in, and the regular rewards are astonishing, all reaching 100. However, the extra reward is only 1 Devil Fruit. This made Su Mu puzzled. Is this Devil Fruit special? But now is not the time to study this Devil Fruit, so he temporarily puts this Devil Fruit in the system backpack and saves it for later. On Impel Down, the battle between Whitebeard and the powerhouses of the world government continued. The battle between Su Mu and Rocks was just an episode. 5 Elders Vero ignored it, he believed in the power of that adult. And Whitebeard, of course, ignored it. Of course they believed in the magic of Su Mu. Moreover, both of them are too busy to take care of themselves. Although Whitebeard and others are strong in this sea, the number of strong people secretly cultivated by the world government is unexpected, and there are 10 Admiral-level strong people alone. And that doesn't include 5 Elders Vero. 11 strong men made Whitebeard and others extremely difficult. Pinnacle Whitebeard took the lead and blocked 2 Admiral-level strongmen, including 5 Elders Vero. Golden Lion returned to the top and blocked 2 without flinching. Zephyr, Rayleigh, and Hawkeye blocked 1 each. Aokiji had to block 2. And Ace also volunteered, trying to block 1 with the attitude that it doesn't matter if he is seriously injured. As for the remaining Admiral-level powerhouse, Moria can only bite the bullet. In addition, the world government has hundreds of powerful people, some of whom are comparable to Vice Admiral. These people, being born by the captains of the Whitebeard pirates, are even more tragic. Although Marco can be powerful with a few people, it is impossible to block many, and the others can only be abused. But no one is afraid, because they all know the magic of the resurrection. Su Mu had already explained before the battle that they had to take care of each other, and if anyone died, they should quickly retreat back to the recovery room of the resurrection. The situation is extremely unfavorable for Whitebeard et al. During this period of time, many people have gone to heal their injuries and then rejoined the battle. For example, the captains of the Whitebeard pirates, such as Aokiji, Hawkeye, Ace and others. Especially Moria. If it weren't for Golden Lion and others to take care of him, he might be the first person to meet Hades. Even though his strength had been improved on the resurrection, the time was too short and he hadn't improved much. Facing the Admiral-level strongman, he was simply abused. Ace had been training on the resurrection recently, and his abilities evolved during the resurrection, and his strength improved the most. Not long ago, he was able to draw with substitute Admiral Momonosuke, and now his strength has improved again, and he is not far from Admiral's threshold. He hadn't been injured in the battle with Admiral. Hawkeye's injury was surprising, because he met a very tricky character with a very special Devil Fruit ability. Paramesha copied Devil Fruit. That Admiral-level strongman is also a powerful swordsman. He directly chose to fight Hawkeye because he saw the advantage of his Devil Fruit ability. Many times, Hawkeye always felt like he was fighting with himself. His slash will be copied, and then attack him. However, the Admiral-level powerhouse was also uncomfortable, with blood on his body. As for Aokiji, it is still too difficult for him to face two strong Admiral-level players. Golden Lion has returned to the top, and two ordinary Admiral-level powerhouses can last at least 3 days and 3 nights. After all, he is the one who can last 3 days and 3 nights against Garp and Sengoku. Now, he persisted for 3 days and 3 nights and would not lose, let alone be arrested. Whitebeard faced 2 of his strongest opponents, 5 elders Vero and a fat middle-aged man in black. Vero fights himself as the 5 elders. Although he doesn't have the devil fruit ability, the generation of ghosts in his hands is too scary. Every time he slashed, the ghostly aura was overwhelming, which greatly affected people's psychology and spirit, and made people feel afraid. Only after the battle did Whitebeard know that Daiki Toru actually ate devil fruit. That's Paramesha Dread devil fruit. It can frighten people, which can break the confidence of the enemy. Whitebeard had been affected by him from the very beginning, and had already received several sword wounds on his body. But for him, these injuries are nothing at all. With a monster-like body, he is not afraid of pain and deadly threats. Think about Summit War, how many severe traumas did his terminally ill body suffer? Now, he is at his peak. His other opponent, the fat and strong man in black. It was the fat man in black who spoke to 5 elders Vero earlier. He is too powerful, even stronger than Whitebeard. Because, he got the fruit of Paramesha Power Force. The fruit ability has raised his strength to a terrifying level, and there is no one in this world who can match him in terms of pure strength. His fist collided with Whitebeard, making Whitebeard's arm tremble. Fortunately, Whitebeard Hockey has reached the peak, otherwise it would be a disadvantage to confront this fat black-clothed powerhouse. If Whitebeard is alone against the fat black man, he can easily deal with him, but the weird Vero is also on the side, and Whitebeard is very aggrieved in the fight. This great melee continued. Although the situation was not good for Whitebeard, the recovery room on the resurrection evened out this disadvantage. So, they can still hold on. Hold on until Su Mu returns. And 5 elders Vero and others are also very uncomfortable. As long as their strong men are injured, their combat power will decline, and what they are waiting for is death. Because they can't have healing support bugs. In this way, the longer the time, the more favorable the situation seems to be in Whitebeard et al. Therefore, Vero and others are also waiting for the result of the battle between Rox and Su Mu. If the Rox win, the current stalemate will be completely broken. With the addition of Rox, Whitebeard and others can no longer bear it. Besides, if Su Mu is killed, will Whitebeard and others continue to fight? Now, both parties are waiting. Boom. A loud noise came from the bottom of Impel Down, and the whole Impel Down was shaken. Whizzing. 2 figures rushed out from the ground. Boom. They fell, hitting the ground hard. It was Su Mu and Rox. Everyone looked at them and stopped again. They are all waiting. Who will win out of these 2 powerhouses? Rox, give up playing wild. Su Mu said, the corners of her mouth curved up. Yes. Rox bowed to Su Mu to accept the order. What's going on? 5 elders Vero couldn't believe it. Rox has surrendered to Su Mu, and his lord has lost. So, Rox must have been killed and resurrected by Su Mu. He suddenly understood that the terrifying power that gave New World a middle score was the fatal blow that killed Rox. It's you. Rox aimed at an admiral-level strongman. Not far from him, Moria lay on the ground, badly wounded again. Boom. Under everyone's shocked, still unrecovered gaze, Rox rushed towards the strong man, wrapped the famous sword with the Peak Conqueror's hockey in his hand, and directly slashed out. After the strong man lost his mind for a short time, he immediately resisted. He also had a sword in his hand, so he hurriedly used sword skills to block it. Click. The sword is broken. Rox's red and black slash rushed through the chest of the admiral-level powerhouse, cutting him in half. Rox shot for the first time after his resurrection, and it was thunderous. Under unexpected circumstances, he killed an admiral-level powerhouse directly, shocking everyone. Chapter 110 The Rox Pirate 3 Heroes Assemble. Advertise here. Rox made a strong attack and killed the admiral-level powerhouse with one blow. In fact, normally speaking, it is difficult for him to achieve this level of horror. The main reason is that his shot made the opponent unexpected and he was not prepared. Of course, it is also mainly because the strength of the opponent has just reached the threshold of the admiral level. If it is a strong player like Akainu Kizaru, Rox will never be able to do it. But that's scary enough. Rox, the majestic overlord of the sea, surrendered to others. It's ridiculous. Vero took the opportunity to sneer. Old man, this kind of aggressive will not work for me. I will settle the old score 40 years ago with you. Rox put away the knife and walked towards Vero. Here he was going to kill Vero, one of the 5 elders. Haha, Rox, stop talking big. Vero didn't care. He's so confident in himself, even Rox, he's not afraid. Kalalala, what a great guy to meet. Whitebeard laughed as he watched Rox walking in his direction. This is the former captain. When he was young, he took them on a gallop. Newgate, you really have grown up. But it looks like you are older than me. Rox said with a rare smile. This was the potential rookie he had been looking at back then, the top 3 people on his ship. Boom boom boom. Whitebeard walked over, raised his fist and punched Rox lightly, and it was Rox's fist that answered him. The two fisted each other slightly, which was regarded as a kind of greeting. Newgate, I didn't expect you to be under Su Emu's command. How were you all when I was defeated after the war? Rox asked. After all, 40 years have passed, and things have changed. Gee ha ha ha, Captain, you are ignoring me. Golden Lion laughed and walked over. He is also a member of the Rox Pirate. Shiki, the rudder on your head, looks more like a rooster. Rox teased. This is also the tone he often used to Golden Lion. After all, Golden Lion is very rebellious, and his blows are indispensable. Gee ha ha ha, I often laugh at myself like this. Golden Lion walked over, not paying attention to Rox's mockery of him. The three strong men meet. The Rox pirate who once ruled the sea, now the three most important people meet. This is simply a miracle. Since the death of Rox pirate has been falling apart, and everyone on board is disobedient. In the end, all the surviving people flew high and went to sea independently. Golden Lion created the Flying Pirates, Whitebeard created the Whitebeard Pirates, Kaido's Beasts Pirates, Big Mom's Pirates, and more. None of these peerless and powerful characters can really suppress them, so they each made a breakthrough. Now, the resurrection of Rox brought three of them together again and became companions on a ship. How is this not shocking? Those three people standing together can really subvert this sea. Hulalalala. Some of the people from back then are here, and we will meet in the future. Now, it's not the time to reminisce. Whitebeard responded to Rox's question with a smile. Gia ha ha ha, that's true, let's get rid of these men in black first. The knives on Golden Lion's legs trembled, and he was about to fight again excitedly. Let me see how much your combat power has grown, don't hold me back. Rox looked at the two of them teasingly, and personally chose to fight against two strong men, including five elders Vero. Of course Whitebeard and Golden Lion at their peak were unwilling to lag behind, and they each chose two. In this way, the three of them chose 6 admiral-level powerhouses, plus the one that Rox killed before, a total of 7. Seeing these three high-spirited people, Aokiji and the others looked at each other with relief. This is a companion, not an enemy. Otherwise, it will be troublesome. Now, the pressure on them suddenly eased. There are still 4 admiral-level powerhouses left on the other side. Aokiji, Rayleigh, and Zephyr each faced one. The remaining eagle-eyed opponent, Su Mu, walked over. Captain Su Mu, you have just experienced a big battle, you are tired enough, you should rest first. Hawkeye persuaded. His opponent, can he handle it? Will I be tired? People give me the title of perpetual motion machine. Hee, leave this guy to me, I am very interested in his ability. Su Mu pulled Hawkeye aside and stared at each other excitedly, as if staring at the most delicious food. Perpetual motion machine. Hawkeye didn't understand, and didn't bother to pay attention. Since Su Mu was looking at the enemy, there is no need for him to intervene. Hawkeye glanced at Moria, and walked away with a blank expression. He went to Marco and others to fight against the Vice Admiral level combat power of the world government. And Ace has no opponents, so he has to return to the Whitebeard Pirates to deal with the enemy with everyone. Moria lay on the ground, got up helplessly, and jumped back to the resurrection. He was badly injured and had to go back to heal. The battle started again. This time, the situation is completely different, and the Avengers have the upper hand. Rox, Whitebeard, and Golden Lion all tried their best to amplify their moves, and the three scrambled to be the first to get the result. Newgate, I didn't expect your ability to be so powerful. Now you are qualified to compete with me. Rox watched Whitebeard fight, and Rox admired the strength he showed. Sure enough, he is a person who is valued by him. Hula lala, that compliment I take with pleasure. Whitebeard laughed. Shiki, I didn't expect you to grow to this extent. Rox also cast admiring glances at Golden Lion. These two guys were both his crew back then. If he had this kind of strength back then, he would not have been besieged by two powerful players, and perhaps Rox Pirate would not have disbanded and disappeared. On the other side, Su Mu fought with the strong man who had copied Devil Fruit. What shocked him was that the other party had developed the fruit ability to its peak. The moves that Su Mu realized can be copied by the opponent, and then returned with the same moves and power. This is really amazing. However, he is not Su Mu after all, and there is a big difference in his original physical fitness. Su Mu's attack power is extremely powerful, and his copy cannot be fully recovered after all. An hour later, the strong man lay at Su Mu's feet, dying. His heart was pierced by Su Mu. Su Mu walked over, her eyes started to turn scarlet, and she was full of hostility. He cast the power of gluttony. The scarlet breath flowed from his hand, and then pressed on the opponent's head. While killing the opponent, it directly deprived the opponent of their strength and Devil Fruit ability. Today, Su Mu's power has been slightly enhanced, and the ability to copy has been added. Chapter 111 Su Mu who plays Saitama. Do you want to fist fight with me? Advertise here. Su Mu kills the person with the ability to copy fruit and devours his ability, which is not known to outsiders. After all, this special gluttonous power is too amazing. After Su Mu devoured this strong man, he could obviously feel that his strength had improved a little. This is killing two birds with one stone. Strength and ability are double improved. He clapped his hands, and looked at another strong admiral. This person was fighting Whitebeard. His strength was too amazing. One punch could even knock Whitebeard back, which made Su Emu's eyes shine. Good ability. Su Mu walked over, smiled and said to Whitebeard, "This guy is mine." He is indeed envious of this ability, of course he wants to seize it. Whitebeard squinted, slightly annoyed. Fighting against two admiral-level powerhouses alone, he has not fallen into a disadvantage so far. Su Mu stepped in, making him feel slighted. How could he understand Su Emu's mood? Are you Su Mu? The strong man told Su Mu to come to him on his own initiative, and he was not afraid. On the contrary, he was very excited and wanted to make a great contribution and kill Su Mu directly. Every strong person has strong self-confidence, which is why he sometimes appears conceited. He thinks that his strength even conceded 3 points to Whitebeard. How could Su Mu be able to stop it? Well, that's right. Su Mu nodded casually. Very well, I'm going to kill you today. My name is Suo. The man didn't say anything to me, Su Mu interrupted impatiently. I don't need to know the name of nobody, don't waste time. Do you know how powerful I am? The strong man was furious. He raised his fist, a mysterious force bloomed in his fist, and shouted, I am a man with strength, possessing the strongest power in the world, my fist is unparalleled. He can indeed take pride in himself. Because in terms of strength alone, few people can match him, not even a monster like Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world. Oh, power. Su Mu was in a dazed state. His current appearance is still bald. Forgot to recover from the fight with the rocks. Compare your fists with me, it's true, courting death. Su Mu raised his fist and fought back. Serious. Punch. Boom. There was a loud bang, the sound of glass breaking, and blood mist filled the scene. That person with the strength ability exploded directly. Whitebeard. Rocks. Everyone. Asterisk. Bing. This picture is both funny and shocking. The ability user who claims to be the most powerful was actually dealt with by Su Mu with a single punch, it wasn't that hard. What the hell is this power? Su Mu looked at the puddle of blood under her feet, feeling extremely disgusted. This guy has nothing to do with the power he is capable of using, but his physical strength has not kept up. Su Mu activated the power of gluttony, and the scarlet power of gluttony swept the blood on the ground, devouring the power and ability of this strong man. Then transform it into your own power, so that you also have power ability. After doing all this, Su Mu clapped her hands in satisfaction, and this time she gained 2 more good abilities. Although he has too many abilities and they are rare, for Su Mu, he is just good looking and fun. When he fights, he doesn't need several abilities, and often 1 or 2 abilities can kill the opponent. Everyone looked at Su Mu in horror, as if they were looking at a devil. His scarlet hostility just now swept across, directly causing the strong man's blood to wither into black. And Su Mu's physical aura has obviously strengthened again. Captain Su Mu, what kind of terrifying ability is this? Ace clicked his tongue. Do you have this ability? Why do I feel that Captain Su Mu is a pervert beast? Marco muttered to himself. This guy Su Mu is getting more and more difficult to see through. He seems to know everything. Hawkeye sighed. He found Su Mu to be too comprehensive. He used to think that Su Mu was a swordsman, which made him very excited. However, later he discovered that he was wrong. He even got Su Mu's name wrong. He is not Zichuandi Su Mu at all, but Zichuandi knows everything Su Mu. Su Mu ignored everyone's gaze, he was still searching, wanting to kill more. At this time, Whitebeard's shocking ability bloomed, directly blasting his opponent to vomit blood. Rox is entwined with super powerful Conqueror's Haki, fighting the crisis of being cut by Vero. He also cut another strong man in half with a single knife. Haha, enjoyable. And you. Rox is in a crazy state and has no fear of death. Even if he was almost cut in half by Vero just now, he didn't care. He still has the strength to fight, and he can last at least half an hour, which is enough. Kill. With a loud shout, Vero delivered the strongest blow. He has already seen the battle situation around him clearly. At present, the powerhouse of the world government is at a disadvantage, which makes him very frightened. 11 admiral-level powerhouses and hundreds of elites came, but they failed. Even Rox was successfully countered by Su Mu. Can this not scare him? Their careful planning and a lot of hard work are about to fail. This made him angry, but helpless. Su Mu has grown up, making them feel tricky too. His strongest combat power has the aura of howling ghosts, and the sky is covered with dark clouds. This is the strongest blow, and it is also a signal. This is an agreement he had made with the World Government Air Force number 1 Corps long ago, allowing him to send a signal, that is, when the Air Force is coming to bomb. Seeing Vero's slashing signal, the World Government powerhouses on the battlefield already understood that they were about to retreat. No one loves to fight, and retreats by means of their own means. Vero delivered a powerful blow to Rox, knocking Rox back. He took the opportunity to jump up and fly into the sky. He can even fly. Hoolalala. Captain Su Mu hunted down the past. Tomorrow's news will definitely shock the world. Whitebeard laughed. The world government's air force takes off at a secret base 100 meters away, and it can be reached in a minute. As for other powerhouses, Whitebeard and others are pursuing. The Air Force came, and naturally it was destroyed by the resurrection under his control. Gia ha ha ha. Of course not, but the powerhouse of the world government suffered heavy casualties and was severely beaten by the Avengers. Golden Lion also laughed vigorously. And Vero and others are already retreating to create conditions for the Air Force's bombing. I'm shocked, is the Gate of Justice destroyed again? Rayleigh teased. On the soles of his feet, there is a technological device that can help him fly, giving him the ability to fly very fast. Su Mu. He soared into the sky and chased Vero, never letting the five elders go. Golden Lion and Ace, who can fly, can't catch up, let alone the others. Of course, I'm revived, isn't it shocking enough? Rock's lips turned up, even though his waist was bleeding profusely, he was still talking and laughing happily. As for Vero who fled at extreme speed, of course it was handed over to Su Mu. Behind Su Mu, the wings of the devil spread out. This is also his life-saving means. However, they overlooked one person. Today, he's going to kill the celestial dragons again, starting with the big guy five elders Vero. He has absolute variables. Chapter 112 I call it Kamui. Advertise here. Su Mu soared into the sky, chasing five elders Vero. He doesn't care about tomorrow's news, anyway, he and the world government have long been inseparable. Regardless of how the news is reported, Morgans will take Su Mu's interests as the premise, which is the benefit of subduing him. Now, he already knew the whereabouts of Big Brother Ming Huang. The mysterious Valley of the Gods. Since the death of Rocks, it has disappeared. This kind of handwriting is definitely only capable of being done by the world government. It was a mountain range and sea area, and it disappeared without a trace. Who has such a great ability to erase even mountains and rivers? This is not just a question of force, but also a question of ability. Su Mu asked himself, his space ability is currently unable to erase a space in such a large area. Why does the world government attach so much importance to the Valley of the Gods? Is it just because where Ming Huang is? Or, does the Valley of the Gods hide other more terrifying secrets? All of this can only be known after the Valley of the Gods. However, the Valley of the Gods disappeared, not to mention Morgans, even Rocks didn't know. It is hidden from the world, and it is too difficult to find it directly. Only those who know it can be prepared to find the coordinates. And five elders Vero, as one of the CEOs of the world government, absolutely has the right to know. This is also the main reason why Su Mu chased and killed Vero. He spread his wings and soared at an extremely fast speed. He came first and saw Vero flying in front of him within 10 minutes. Seeing Su Mu chasing him, Wei Luo was frightened and increased his speed again. However, the speed of Su Mu's demon wings is astonishing, faster than the planes of the world government, and Vero's speed is still not enough. Su Mu, don't force me. Wei Luo said viciously with cold eyes. He personally commanded the mission to besiege and kill Su Mu and failed, and now he has to be hunted down by Su Mu. How can this not make him angry? Forcing you. Hee hee, I'm killing you. Okay, don't make yourself so awesome. Su Mu sneered from behind. His strength is no longer what it used to be, and it is no problem to kill the strong admiral level. Possessing the gluttonous ability, when he devours others, he sees that the power is also devouring, which makes his strength also increase. After all, the people he can take a fancy to are all admiral level powerhouses with astonishing strength. Su Mu, if you force me, your big brother Ming Huang will be killed directly. Wei Luo threatened. Kill Ming Huang. Are you qualified? If you could, you would have killed it long ago. Wei Luo, the value of Ming Huang is beyond your control. Su Mu sneered, and at the same time, her heart was filled with coldness. What is the state of Ming Huang, and where is the Valley of Gods? All of this can only be understood by capturing Vero. Thinking of this, Su Mu demon wings speeded up again, quickly broke through the sound barrier, caught up with Vero directly, blocked him from the sky, and landed on an island. Wei Luo, you can't escape, obediently tell me the specific situation of Ming Huang, and I can make your death easier. Su Mu walked towards Wei Luo coldly. Ha, Su Mu, you are really confident. Vero laughed, without the previous fear and panic. Have you noticed that the direction of my escape is not the direction of Mariajoy, but here? Vero stood where he was, confident. You mean, there is your ambush here? Su Mu frowned, and had to lament that people like five elders are old bastards. All kinds of ambushes and traps, even the retreat is also taken into account. You're smart. Su Mu, Pomjabik's science is amazing. After researching the pacifist, he made another breakthrough, increasing the power of laser light by 100 times. Vero continued. Moreover, this kind of laser light cannot be avoided. Once locked, the energy will not disappear unless it is hit. In Vero's hand, a handle device appeared with a red button. Where is your laser device? Su Mu looked around, but couldn't find it. Haha, how could you discover this kind of device? Even if you use your knowledge, it won't help, because it is equipped hundreds of nautical miles away. And this island is its goal. After Vero finished speaking, he pressed the red button and activated the giant laser light. Hundreds of sea miles away, on a very secret island, a thick giant laser beam rushed out from a thick laser cannon, heading towards the island where Su Mu was located, and aimed directly at Su Mu. Oh, do you think I'll be hit? How did you lock on me? Su Mu asked calmly, without any panic. Our lock uses the most advanced technology, as long as people in this world can't escape the positioning of the world government's Sky Eye, and the Sky Eye lock is the target of the laser light. There was a crazy smile on the corner of Vero's mouth. You have been locked here by the eyes of the sky. He purposely led Su Mu here, just to better lock the Sky Eye. After all, the eye of the sky is not omnipotent. Locking requires a specific location and timing. This world. What if it's not in this world? Su Mu chuckled and looked at the huge laser light at the end of the horizon on the sea surface, which was already heading towards him at a very fast speed. Not in this world. Vero's face was full of question marks, as if he couldn't understand what Su Mu was saying. It's useless to explain to you. Actions are the best way to explain. Su Mu closed her eyes, and when the laser light was about to hit her, she had a thought and used her eyes and eyes ability. His eyes, pupils like windmills, turned, making the world around him spin extremely fast. This rotation seems to distort time and space. The distortion and change of time and space is the change of the entire universe. The space around Su Mu has been stripped from this world. In other words, he is in a different dimension. He is not in this world. However, when it was less than 1 meter away from Su Mu, it stopped immediately. He didn't know that Su Mu had used the II ability, and he didn't know that Su Mu was actually in a different dimension. However, outsiders can see with naked eyes that he is still standing in place and has not disappeared from this world. This kind of different space can let oneself be pulled into it. You can also pull foreign objects into it. Su Mu proudly said, it doesn't have a name yet, but since you asked, I'll give it a name for now. I'll call it Kamui. What kind of ability is this? Vero asked in horror. Why didn't the laser light attack you? Vero was terrified. 1 meter in front of Su Mu, she is already in a different dimension. Su Mu said in a deep voice, the pinwheel pupils in his eyes turned again, and the different space around him rolled towards the laser light, engulfing the laser light. The eye of the sky is locked, it is invalid. Vero, although you are 5 elders, you are still a frog in the bottom of the well. This world needs miracles, and I am the agent of miracles. The huge laser light came lacing with great momentum, plowing a huge road on the sea wherever it passed. Su Mu took a step and walked towards Vero from the different space. Such a huge laser light was directly erased and disappeared. This is a very strange picture. Laser beam, lost target. And once the laser light has no target, it will stop moving. Chapter 113 Killing and Resurrecting the 5 Elders. Advertise here. Su Mu used her peak eyes and eyes ability to directly open the different dimension. He named it Kamui. It is also the most popular, a tribute to someone. Kamui. Vero was confused, but now is not the time to be confused. His ambush failed again. Now he has no way to retreat. Although he possesses admiral level strength, he is an extremely powerful existence even among admirals. However, he was facing Su Mu. The one who can beat even the rocks. 5 elders. Vero knew he was invincible. So, the doubts on his surface now are all preparations for escape. He, Celestial Dragons, was born in the special and mysterious place of Red Line, and the race still has special features. Su Mu, do you know what people with abilities are most afraid of? Vero continued to ask, slowly moving towards the edge of the island. Su Mu saw everything in his eyes, and even pinched his nose to overhear the old man's voice. Water style. He was going to escape by water. He himself is not capable, so it is indeed feasible to enter the sea and escape. After all, Su Mu is a capable person. Even if Su Mu can fly, as long as he stays underwater, Su Mu can't do anything to him. And he has many opportunities to choose. When he got to the red line, he had no scruples. He calculated everything clearly, because he can stay in the water for a month without getting up. Moreover, his speed in the water is very fast, not much slower than his flying in the sky. It's his race. His race first emerged from water, and then slowly developed to land, forming an amphibious way of life. He is not a murloc, but a higher level creature of the murloc, who call themselves the water god. This is similar to the race of Kaido's Vice Emperor Flame Calamity. Jin is also said to be from the Red Line, and his race calls itself the Vulcan. The race of these humans born on the Red Line is too mysterious. This is one of the reasons why the world government is so powerful. Celestial dragons aren't all fat slugs with oxygen masks. Many celestial dragons are extremely powerful races. Otherwise, why have they dominated the world for so many years? Are you trying to say that capable people are landlubbers who are most afraid of the sea? Su Mu teased. This is basic common sense, this old guy is just trying to trick his water style. That's right, I'm not a capable person, and I'm of a special race. You are a capable person, and it's impossible for you to enter the sea, so you can't catch me today. Vero said proudly, and jumped straight into the sea. This idiot. Su Mu shook his head and said to himself, 5 elders are also confused by fear. Doesn't he know my identity? He should also know my bloodline, right? If he can be in the water, can't I? Su Mu sneered, feeling sad for Vero. This guy, in his eyes, was already dead. Back then, he was besieged by 3 admiral-level powerhouses from a Kainuan world government. In the end, his strength was exhausted, and he fell into the sea without dying because of his blood status. His race can fly freely in the water. His race has 9 lives. Su Mu walked slowly to the edge of the island and dived directly into the sea. In the sea, he didn't feel the slightest suffocation, and he was able to breathe freely. Moreover, he didn't feel his physical strength being suppressed by the sea water, and he didn't behave like a capable person. He is in the sea and can display his abilities. The bloodline of this race is really domineering. Behind him, the wings of the devil spread out, and suddenly there was a raging wave in the sea. In the sea, Su Mu's speed of casting the wings of the devil did not slow down at all. Even, Su Mu thinks that he doesn't use the demon wings, but only relies on his own body. The speed is amazing, and it will not be slower than the demon wings. This is determined by his racial bloodline. How could you? Vero sensed the terrifying momentum behind him, and when he looked back, he couldn't help being frightened. Su Mu was coming straight at him. Su Mu can actually be in the sea, and the speed is amazing. It's over. I forgot in a hurry, the Zichuan family, but the terrifying race. Wei Luo suddenly realized. He didn't dare to stay in the water anymore, because then he would die even worse. Boom. He rose from the sea and flew straight to the sky. It's useless, Vero, you're going to die today, there's nowhere to escape. Su Mu followed closely behind, and directly blocked Vero's route. You are a swordsman, and you seem to look down on Hawkeye. Then I will use the sword and kill you in the field you are best at. Su Mu drew his sword, and a black heavy sword appeared in his hand. He headed towards Vero at a high speed, constantly changing his direction. The advanced observation Haki is released, locking Vero's every escape route, making him unavoidable. Golden Light Avenue. Su Mu raised the big knife with both hands, and slashed at Wei Luo fiercely. This Golden Road. Vero's eyes widened, showing horror. A few months ago, he watched the live broadcast. With this move, Su Mu shattered the Gate of Justice in 2 hits. The sharpness of the Golden Road made him tremble with fear. Sen Luo Hell. The generation of ghosts in his palm glowed with a strange light, there was a ghostly aura rushing out, and there were strange and terrifying slashes. Vero, slash with all his might. For self-protection. His slash was a huge black sword with a hell-like force. However, after the black sword met the Golden Avenue, it seemed as if the dark clouds were being dispersed by the scorching sun. The black slash was disappearing, and the Golden Road continued to extend, cutting off the black sword completely. The incomparably sharp Golden Avenue extends downward from the center of Vero's brows. Cut him symmetrically. Clang. A generation of ghosts fell to the ground, restored its original form, and the fruit eaten by the knife left automatically. Su Mu walked up to Vero and looked at the 2 halves of his body coldly. Dead people can be more obedient. Unlike the big devil, Su Mu smiled evilly, stretched out his hand, and pressed half of Vero's head. He cast his resurrection power. He's going to bring the 5 elders Vero back to life. 10 minutes later, Wei Luo revived and knelt directly in front of Su Mu. Su Mu doesn't give him a chance to shock and speak at all, once resurrected, gave him a command of complete loyalty. This is the first person he resurrected after enduring his nausea. Tell me, everything you know about Mingwang. Su Mu finally asked. Master Su Mu, Mingwang is currently in the Valley of the Gods. He was sealed by your father's enchantment fruit, and he is in an instant state of death. This enchantment, world government has come down for a long time. It has not been opened yet, but recently, Mr. Finally the dark matter is sent, it can erode the barrier, and it takes a month to break it. There is another way to open the barrier, that is the blood of the Zichuan family. So, that's why we use the mouth of rocks to speak. Lu Minghuang's news lures you into a plan, and we want your blood. Vero told a lot of secrets in one breath. The Valley of the Gods has disappeared. Was it deliberately hidden by the world government? Where is it? Take me there quickly, Su Mu said again. Master Su Mu, the disappearance of the Valley of the Gods is the ability that I am personally exerted, and for him to appear, at least 3 of us 5 elders need to activate the power in their hands at the same time. At present, I can't do it alone. And without Lord Im's order, we can't open the Valley of the Gods. Vero explained again. It's I am again. Then I don't need her consent, just kill you 5 old guys, resurrect you, and forcefully open the Valley of Gods. Su Mu said in a deep voice. Chapter 114 Su Mu's decision. Advertise here. Master Su Mu, the Valley of the Gods is one of the 3 secret bases of the world government, where terrifying and powerful people are cultivated, you should not rush there. Wei Luo hastily reminded Su Mu. Now he is 100% loyal to Su Mu, of course he is always thinking of Su Mu. Oh, how does the defensive power inside compare to your power to ambush me this time? Su Mu asked. It's too powerful. Not only are there many high-end powerhouses in it, but there are even some restricted areas that even I dare not enter. Vero sighed. In his mind, he immediately recalled a terrible experience. That time, he strayed into a black area and almost lost himself. If it wasn't for the rescue of another 5 elders member at the end, he would have died long ago. The Valley of the Gods is not completely controlled by the world government. Among them, I am afraid that only the mysterious I Am knows. Oh, Sure enough, back then, the S group was so powerful, even if they were severely injured by dark matter, they were still huge, much stronger than me now. But even so, they lost. Su Mu was disappointed. Overthrow the world government is not just a slogan. But the actual action put him under a lot of pressure. In fact, he only used it for a few months. It is simply a miracle that he went from a Ruanfan king to the most powerful overlord in the sea. But Su Mu felt that it was not enough. The comparison between him and the world government is as weak as a child. It's not that he is not strong enough, but that there are too many strong enemies. His father and big brother were once the ceiling of combat power. However, in the state of being injured against the dark matter, he couldn't support the siege of 5 admiral-level powerhouses from the world government. This is the result. At that time, the D family also had strong men from other families, but everyone was in the same situation, and everyone had to face strong men several times their own. There is still 1 month before the world government can break the barrier on the big brother's body. In this month, I have to further improve my strength. Su Mu lamented that he urgently needed to greatly increase his current power again. Regardless of Whitebeard, there are already many strong players such as Rocks, but for the world government, it is still not enough. Vero, go back, and contact me in time if you have anything. Be careful, don't let them discover your current identity. Su Mu urged. Now, Vero, one of the 5 elders, is his pawn in the upper echelons of the world government, much more reliable than Morgan's. Wei Luo took the order and was about to leave. Su Mu raised his hand, and the streamer sword slashed across the sky, cutting Wei Luo's body with wounds everywhere. It's miserable, but I can't die. And Wei Luo didn't complain at all, and even gave Su Mu a thumbs up. In this way, they will be able to dispel their suspicions even more. Vero praised. Su Mu waved his hand to let him go, and he spread his wings and flew towards Impel Down, going back to look for Whitebeard and others. From a distance, he saw dozens of world government Air Force fighter planes attacking Impel Down. Hee. You still dare to come? Su Mu sneered. Not long ago, in Marineford, world government fighter planes chased him and bombed him, which started to make them extremely embarrassed. Now, the resurrection number has been upgraded, and there is no need to be aggrieved and passive defense anymore. Su Mu used space teleportation, directly entered Impel Down at close range, and returned to the pirate ship Resurrection. Su Mu, how is it? Whitebeard and others have already hit on the pirate ship Resurrection. They went back before being bombarded, and used the stealth function of the Resurrection to avoid the shelling. The world government air force couldn't locate them, so they bombarded them together with Impel Down, trying to directly raze this area to the ground. Complete the goal and kill Vero. Su Mu said easily. He came to the bow of the Resurrection and said to everyone, now, we need to get rid of this group of annoying mosquitoes from the world government. With warm eyes, everyone followed Su Mu to the bow of the boat. They know the magic of the Resurrection, especially with the functions of flight and stealth, the power of the Resurrection will be even more unpredictable. Su Mu commanded the Resurrection, and it flew up in the stealth state, and immediately came to a fighter plane not far away. Boom! The bombardment from the Resurrection was launched, directly hitting a fighter plane and knocking it down from the sky. Immediately afterwards, the Resurrection changed direction again and fired at the next fighter plane. Boom! Another fighter dropped. In less than a minute, 2 fighter planes were shot down. The Resurrection pirate ship is like a wolf rushing into a flock of sheep, completely like entering a no man's land, swift and thunderous, and easily kills a human plane. Su Mu even cancelled its hidden function directly, and blatantly shuttled through the fighter jets of the world government. Because the Resurrection number opened the protective cover, which is a LV4 protective cover. It is at the same level as the protective shield of Daughter Island. Even Admiral's attack can be blocked, let alone shelling. The world government's fighter planes attacked the Resurrection frantically at first, but the result was tragic. The Resurrection survived the smoke and fire, and during this time, 5 more enemy fighters were shot down. There is nothing the Air Force can do about this defense. So they evacuated quickly. However, Resurrection is not what it was last time. It can fly, its speed is not weaker than that of a fighter plane, and it can chase after it. Not long after, another 5 or 6 fighters were destroyed. In this way, the Resurrection destroyed more than a dozen fighter planes, almost destroying more than half of the enemy's fighter planes. This can make the Air Force of the world government bleed. Not to mention the huge expenditure of money, just to say that the number 1 Air Force Corps, which has been cultivated for many years, is now almost dead in name only. With only half of their power left, it would be a fiasco for them. The entire Air Force is only 3 legions. What's next? Whitebeard asked. After driving away the world government Air Force and returning to Daughter Island, especially the news of Ming Huang, Su Mu's decision is crucial. There is still a month. During this period, I will think about the next plan and then accumulate strength. You are all ready for the battle and adjust yourself to the best condition. Su Mu made arrangements for everyone and returned to the Daughter Island Palace. At night, after some cloud and rain, Su Mu lay on the Empress's lap and closed her eyes to rest. He needs to think carefully about the next way. Since the power of the world government in the Valley of the Gods is too terrifying, it cannot go directly. It's better to accumulate strength, find more companions, and develop the resurrection ability to the awakened state. Su Mu gave himself a general direction. But the awakening of the resurrection ability is rare, relying on himself has great uncertainty, and relying on the system is also a matter of luck. The most urgent thing to do is to subdue some strong men as subordinates. For example, you can go to meet the 4 emperors who are now on the sea, kill and revive those who refuse to accept, and directly earn under the command of those who obey. This may be the fastest shortcut. Husband, what are you thinking about? The Empress asked. I was thinking, you have used up all the raincoats you punctured, why is your belly still not big? Su Mu teased. Chapter 115 Heading to Cake Island, Brother Ming and Ace. Advertise here. The next day, Su Mu came to the resurrection. Whitebeard et al. Have been waiting here. They knew that Su Mu had to hurry up. But how to plan, they have to listen to Su Mu's opinion. Newgate, you can accompany Ace to Dressrosa. Morgan said that the Mara fruit appeared in the hands of Doflamingo. This fruit originally belonged to Ace. It's time to take it back. Su Mu said to Whitebeard and Ace. No. Dad is right here, I can handle Doflamingo by myself. Ace was full of confidence. His strength has improved the most, and he has surpassed Marco at present, and he is qualified to duel with Marine Admiral, and he is indeed not afraid of Doflamingo. Doflamingo isn't alone in Dressrosa, though. Morgan said the Army Admiral Fujitora was also en route to Dressrosa. He is going to review Shichibukai Doflamingo's dark deeds, which is also an important part of his proposal to abolish the Shichibukai system at the World Summit. He has always believed that the setting of Shichibukai is not of much use to the world government, he thought. Many Shichibukai have used this title to do all sorts of bad things. Doflamingo is one of the representatives. Underground dark business, dirty manufacturing of devil fruit, etc., are all his means. He even overthrew the kingdom, occupying the palace and becoming king himself. Ace, Fujitora will be there too, you can't go alone. It's okay if you die, but this is about the meeting of the Avengers. Ace teased. Let me take him for a walk. I didn't enjoy my battle with Fujitora last time. Hawkeye took the initiative to stand up. And me. This time Lousy will take revenge and kill Doflamingo with his own hands. Moria also hurriedly stood up. He was plotted to die by Doflamingo last time, which made him full of anger. Well, almost, there should be no big problem with the 3 of you. Be careful, don't kill innocent people indiscriminately. I don't want to bear a bad name. It will be bad if my father and big brother find out in the future. Su Mu reminded. Ace and Hawkeye are fine, but I'm afraid that Moria will go crazy and deny all relatives, and will deprive civilians of their lives. Don't worry, Ace responded happily, and personally drove the Clippers to Dressrosa with Hawkeye and Moria. After sending them off, Su Mu sat down, and he wouldn't just wait here and do nothing. Rox, Newgate, Shiki, time to meet your old friends and see if they want to join us. Su Mu said to them, and then set a goal and went to Cake Island. There is one of the 4 emperors, Big Mom. She was once a member of the Rox Pirate and a companion to Whitebeard and the Golden Lion. She was very beautiful back then, with a tall and powerful figure, but now her figure has changed a lot. She has a strange disease. I am very dependent on sweets, which makes me a giant. Lin, long time no see, it's time to see her. Whitebeard's eyes glowed, and he was no longer the 4 emperors, so he didn't need to worry about anything. I heard that the little guy is already a 4 emperors, and his strength is amazing. Rox also became interested. Back then, Kaido always fawned over her, and there was something special between them. Golden Lion 8 trigrams said. Then let's go. Su Mu commanded the resurrection, and rushed directly to the sky, heading for Cake Island. 2 days later, the resurrection broke into a dark cloud. Su Mu and others looked, the sky in front of them was covered with dark clouds, thunder and lightning flashed. There is an ark docked. On the ark, a person stood. That terrible thunder and lightning. It came from him. He is bathed in thunder and lightning, like Thor. Who is this weird guy? Whitebeard asked. The others shook their heads, no one knew. But the lightning contained in this person's body was too powerful, distorting everything around him, and the powerful arc swam in the air, which was extremely terrifying. He is a strong man. At least, it is a capable person. This kind of lightning, no one dares to be easily contaminated. He is Enel, an arrogant and ignorant guy who calls himself a god. Su Mu introduced. It was a surprise that he recognized each other at a glance. I didn't expect to meet Enel here. It seems that he is going to the moon. After being defeated by Luffy, his mind was traumatized and he was a little crazy. God, could it be the celestial dragons? Rox asked. No, his arrogance of Yamato is comparable to that of celestial dragons. Su Mu explained. Enel lives on Sky Island and calls himself Thor. Thunder punishment will be sent down on all those who disobey themselves. He wants to be in control, and at Sky Island, he certainly has that. Just bumped into Luffy, who is the main character's aura. And it's a rubber man. He isolated the Thunderbolt and defeated Enel directly. Such a powerful thunder and lightning ability was actually defeated by Luffy, which can only be said to be the protagonist's halo. After all, Luffy didn't even have 3rd gear at the time. On the other side, Dressrosa. Doflamingo has been met by Ace et al. Aren't you fighting against the world government? What are you doing here? Brother Ming was terrified. He looked around, but didn't see the pirate ship Resurrection. Nor did he see anyone who frightened him. For example, Su Mu, Whitebeard et al. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief. After all, with only Ace, Hawkeye and Moria, he doesn't have to be that scared. Doflamingo, give me back my fruit. Ace stretched out his hand directly. With a strong and irresistible tone. Give it to you. Why should I give you the fruit I managed to get from the world government? Doflamingo refused. Mara fruit, but Logia fruit, is rare and powerful. This is a treasure, and he still wants to use Mara fruit to make a plan. Hawkeye, you've fallen too. Doflamingo sneered at Hawkeye, but he was really aggressive. Before Doflamingo could make a move, however, his men blocked Moria. One-on-one, he is fully capable of killing Doflamingo. He didn't want the unpredictable Hawkeye to make a move, otherwise how could he get away with it? This is the evolution of his Devil Fruit ability, and among the many resurrected by Su Mu, only his ability has been upgraded. An Ace, he is confident. Today, the White Flame is not even afraid to restrain its superior Fruit Magma ability. Fire Fist. Ace shot directly. The flames of the Fire Fist rose directly to White. If you don't, you and your family will be destroyed, Ace said domineeringly. Moria couldn't wait any longer, and rushed over directly. Of the 4 cadres, 2 cadres blocked Moria, making him temporarily unable to take a shot against Doflamingo. He has a feud with Doflamingo and takes the opportunity to get revenge. Doflamingo was shocked, and hurriedly used his Fruit Awakening ability, and had a fierce confrontation with Ace. Ace, why are you talking nonsense with him? Kill him. So the fire is powerful. Because, he thought Ace was still him in Summit War. He has confidence because he is stronger than Doflamingo. White Line of Wilderness. Chapter 116 Fugitora's application to board the ship. Advertise here. Ace vs. Doflamingo fight begins. Hawkeye watched the battle from the sidelines, too lazy to make a move. While Moria was fighting with Doflamingo's cadres, diamonds, clubs and spades blocked Moria, and the 2 of them actually blocked the entire Dressrosa force. But mainly depends on Ace. He came here just for Mara fruit. Although his burning ability no longer needs the fruit, but this fruit that should belong to him, of course he has to get it back. Not long after, a blind man arrived with a solemn expression. Holding the sword in his hand, he gave a heavy blow to the ground. Boom. Suddenly the landslides and ground cracked. The ground bulged, and there was a bang, like a volcanic eruption. Many things burst out from the ground, even factories, and countless laborers. Shichibukai, they are indeed moths. The blind and strong man sighed. Although he can't see it, his heart is like a mirror. Shichibukai is really bad, and the world government is not much better, otherwise, why would we let it go? Hawkeye said lightly. He and the Empress have long since separated from Shichibukai, and this title means nothing to him at all. Hawkeye, you came here too, are you just for the Mara fruit? Fujitora asked. What do you think? Hawkeye asked back. Su Mu is drawing attention, right? He's using you guys as a gimmick, but he's doing other big things himself, right? Fujitora asked speculatively. Oh, he must have a plan, but I didn't ask. No matter what he arranges, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any sense to you Marines for the time being. Hawkeye's words are very shocking, because it is looking down on Marine. What he means is that the Avengers have lost sight of Marine. Since the Golden Lion made a big fuss about naval headquarters, the forces of the 2 sides have reversed. By now, the Avengers are stronger than Marine. Marine is backed by the world government, and its strength still exists, and it will continue to grow. If you underestimate it, you will be taught a lesson. Fujitora said in a deep voice. Perhaps. Is your Marine Marshal okay? Hawkeye teased with a strange look. Last time, Akainu was blasted to the ground by the angry blow of the Golden Lion, and he dared not come out because of the arrival of Su Mu and others. This has become a joke among pirates in the sea recently. Even inside Marine, there are many people secretly mocking. The new Marine Marshal, he was ashamed and thrown home as soon as he took office. Quote. Very good, Fujitora said bravely. In fact, before he came to Dressrosa, he had a fight with Akainu. His claim to abolish the Shichibukai was sternly refuted by Akainu. Shichibukai is a very powerful force, and at special times they can work together with Marine to fight against pirates. This kind of help is very necessary for Marine. And Fujitora directly wants to abolish it. Isn't this self-defeating? Then does the world government compensate Marine for the loss? Hawkeye asked again. Ever since he boarded the Resurrection, Hawkeye has talked a lot, and even has a dark belly. His question, teasing the world government again, also embarrassed Marine. When the Golden Lion stormed naval headquarters, the Marine elite lost thousands more than the Summit War lost. Moreover, the world government dispatched Air Force One Corps fighter planes to carry out an extraordinary bombing of naval headquarters, which caused heavy losses to Marine. World government. Alas. Fujitora sighed. Now inside Marine, there is a lot of resentment against the world government. The Air Force bombed the Marine, killing thousands of Marine elites, which made people extremely angry, and many people even hated the Air Force. And the Air Force executes the orders of the world government, so the ultimate object of hatred is the world government. So Marine is in turmoil now, people are not in harmony, and some people are starting to disobey orders and think for themselves. This caused headaches for the new Marshal Akainu. Fujitora, Sumiyu said to me, meet you here, let me bring you a sentence. With eagle eyes hunting, he said seriously, Sumiyu would like to invite you to be a member of us, would you like to? Fujitora tilted her head, as if she didn't hear what Hawkeye said clearly. Or, he couldn't believe what Hawkeye said. Sumiyu actually invited him from Marine Admiral to board the ship. Seeming to see Fujitora's doubts, Hawkeye explained, Zephyr is on board, it is understandable, but Aokiji is also on board. You are also a Marine Admiral, why can't you get on board? Fujitora was silent. Hawkeye was right. In retrospect, on Sumiu's ship, strong men like Whitebeard were willing to follow Sumiu. Rayleigh, who has retired as the deputy of One Piece, also came back to help Sumiu. A rebellious big pirate like Golden Lion actually listens to Sumiu's commands obediently. A lone ranger like Hawkeye who likes to be alone is also willing to join in the fun. Zephyr and Aokiji, needless to say. Even Rox, who has just been revived by Sumiu, is willing to follow Sumiu. Which one of these strong men is not a man of the sea? They are both kings, but they are willing to follow the same person. It can only show that this person's charm is too great. In other words, this person can help them realize their dreams. How miraculous is it that one person can help so many strong people realize their dreams at the same time? Amazing, this seems to be synonymous with Sumiu. Thinking of this, Fujitora couldn't help feeling sad. What is his dream? What was the last thing he wanted to see with his closed eyes? This is his dream. Perhaps the world is indeed dark. Then why not look for a glimmer of light? Is this glimmer of light what Whitebeard and others can see after following Sumiu? Fujitora hesitated. Hawkeye's words made his position start to waver. Although the justice in his heart will not change, his position and identity are not fixed. As long as it helps to achieve justice, which side does it matter? In this world, there is no absolute darkness or light. There is no absolute good or bad. There is no absolute justice and evil. Yes, just different positions. The corner of Hawkeye's mouth raised, and he continued, for me, it doesn't matter whether I believe it or not. Here, I have the life I want, and that's enough. Too much. Hawkeye, Sumiu's purpose is very clear. He wants to overthrow the rule of the world government and restore the glory of the D family. He is somewhat selfish. Are you willing to go crazy with him? Don't you know the horror of the world government? Fujitora asked back. This is too rare. He has made up his mind. Everything is relative. He tentatively applied to board the ship. Are you sure Sumiu's life experience and the story he told are true? Fujitora asked again. But, who can say who is not cruel? Of course, if you don't believe me, I'll call Sumiu right now. Hawkeye took out a phone bug and said confidently to Fujitora. Rayleigh and Rox are enough to prove that with their reputation, it is impossible to cooperate with Sumiu to lie. Moreover, the mystery of the D family has long been circulating in the sea, and I think it is very credible. He is already tempted. He was very excited because Fujitora kept asking about Sumiu. Fujitora took a deep breath, and said directly, can you decide what you say? He is interested. Of course it's clear. What's so difficult about dying? A life of mediocrity is a tragedy. I'd rather die a grand death than end the curtain in a mediocre way. Hawkeye's eyes glowed, and his voice was sonorous and powerful. Hawkeye gave a rare smile. In every position, there are dreams to be realized, but some people are ruthless and unscrupulous, while others can be righteous. Hawkeye, your eyes not only represent eyesight, but also represent a thorough understanding of things in the world. Chapter 117 Fujitora on board, Golden Lion vs Enel. Advertise here. The Resurrection pirate ship. Sumiu and others stood at the bow, looking at the arc ahead. Thor Enel is still bathed in thunder and lightning, but he is a little dazed and has no reaction to the outside world. He looked at the sky. To be precise, it was the moon outside the sky. He was going there to see if there really was a god. He calls himself Thor, and thinks that his ability can dominate everything and punish some blasphemers. However, reality hit him hard. He just took the arc and flew towards the moon in the sky. Perhaps, there is the answer he wants there. This guy looks a little silly. Golden Lion sneered. Well, it looks like there's something wrong with the head, Rayleigh agreed. Maybe, it's just that his faith has been destroyed. Sumiu said lightly. Are you going to take him on board? Whitebeard seemed to have seen Sumiu's intentions and couldn't help asking. What do you think? Sumiu asked everyone's opinion. I don't know this guy at all. His name is not even on the sea. Are you sure that this kind of unknown person is worthy of your stop to send him aboard? Golden Lion retorted in surprise. He thought it was a waste of time. Not necessarily. This guy's ability seems to be a bit special, which makes people palpitate. Aokiji said. Shiki, you idiot, do you know what abilities he has? Rox narrowed his eyes, as if he knew the abilities of Enel Devil Fruit. Because decades ago, there was a guy in Dahai who had the same ability. That guy, Haki is not advanced, and his physical and sword skills are only at the general vice admiral level, but with this ability alone, he can dominate the sea and defeat countless pirates. And Rox also fought that man directly. They fought a battle, and Rox finally won miserably, thus establishing his status as the overlord of the sea. He won that battle with great difficulty, and he still remembers it deeply. Only later, he heard that the guy died inexplicably. As for his devil fruit, it naturally left after his death and never came out again. He unexpectedly encountered this devil fruit again here. Ability. Could it also be related to flying? Golden Lion asked back. Because Enel's ark is flying in the sky with him, similar to his pirate ship, so there is such a guess. In this regard, Rox directly ignored him. He's unafraid of thunder and lightning, which seems extraordinary, Whitebeard said seriously. Cut. Don't make others ambitious. How powerful can an unknown junior be? If he is really powerful, he will already have his name on the sea. Golden Lion disagreed. I think Shiki is right. This kind of person is just arrogant. Shiki, as one of the 3 legendary pirates, you can easily deal with this kind of guy. Just act for me and capture this guy to me. Su Mu ordered to Golden Lion. Gee ha ha ha, there is no problem at all. Golden Lion laughed excitedly. Well, he is still very good at cooking. He flew out of the resurrection pirate ship and headed towards Enel. Blue blue blue, blue blue blue. Su Mu's exclusive phone rang, and it was Hawkeye calling. It's Mihawk, looks like it's over for them. Rayleigh said with a laugh. I don't know if he collided with Fujitora. It should not end so soon. Aokiji questioned. Su Mu connected the phone bug, and Hawkeye's teasing voice came from the opposite side, full of excitement and excitement. Whitebeard and the others looked at each other in shock. That's not Hawkeye's style. Su Mu, guess who was the guy next to me? Hawkeye's first words turned out to be to ask Su Mu to play a guessing game. He didn't use video calls, he used voice directly. It's either Ace or Moria next to you, do you still have to guess? Zephyr sneered. No, if that's the case, he won't let Su Mu guess. Rayleigh retorted. Mihawk, I can't see that you have such a flirtatious attitude. Who led you to be spoiled? Su Mu teased. Then he immediately said, besides Mr. Marine Admiral, there is no one else who deserves your excitement to call me. As expected of Captain Su Mu. Then guess what I want to call? Hawkeye asked again. Everyone bared their teeth, and they all felt that Hawkeye was a bit hateful now. You have to keep it up and make them feel itchy. They were indeed bored in this boring sky, and they finally encountered something that calm people like Hawkeye were excited about, but they were still surrounded by Hawkeye. Oh, got it. Haha, Mihawk, you are worthy of being the representative of my Avengers promotion and sales. You have managed such difficult things. I give you a thumbs up. Su Mu said to the phone bug gives a thumbs up. His words made Whitebeard and others confused. So, did Captain Su Mu agree? Hawkeye asked again to confirm. Haha. Of course. Su Mu also seemed extremely happy. What charades are you two playing? Rayleigh asked curiously. It's not a riddle, but Hawkeye has made a great contribution. Su Mu took the phone bug and said loudly, Mr. Yishao, thank you for not giving up. Su Mu, Captain. Yishao formally applied to board the ship, and start an unknown and exciting adventure with you. The beautiful world in the future must have my strength. Fujitora said solemnly on the phone bug. Aokiji and the others looked at each other in shock, all overjoyed. The Admiral of Headquarters Fujitora is going to board Su Mu's boat. This is so sudden. They did not expect such an outcome at all. Smile. Warm welcome. But before you come looking for us, you have to make a break with Marine and World Government, right? Su Mu suggested. Well, you are right. I will go to see you with Hawkeye in a short time, and then you will know my sincerity and determination. Fujitora said in a deep voice. He already has a decision in his heart. When the time comes to see Su Mu, bring a gift as a token of determination. Su Mu, was this your idea? How did you know that Fujitora would be on board? Aokiji asked. Also Marine Admiral, he knows how hard it is for someone in this position to change sides. It's very simple. The world that Fujitora wants can't be given to Marine, and world government won't give it to him, but I can bring him hope. Su Mu responded confidently and proudly. Aokiji nodded, he suddenly understood now. Fujitora, an ideal somewhat similar to his. Therefore, they have some common reasons for boarding the ship. Boom. At this time, a terrifying sound of thunder and lightning interrupted the chat of Su Mu and others. They found out that while they were talking to Hawkeye on the phone bug, Golden Lion had already fought Enel. Just now, there was lightning and thunder, and a huge electric arc pierced the sky. The dazzling people couldn't open their eyes. Along with the huge thunder, Golden Lion's golden hair stood on end, and his whole body was scorched black. Chapter 118 Su Mu strikes, Reikiri shows off. Advertise here. Everyone was excited when Fujitora boarded the ship, but they forgot that Golden Lion had already left the ship and was fighting Golden Lion with Su Mu's order. It was the huge thunder that made everyone pay attention to the battle between the two. When they looked, they saw the Golden Lion deflated. The Golden Lion, who is famous in the sea, stumbled on Enel. This surprised everyone. The power of lightning is really mysterious and unpredictable, and Shiki has suffered a lot. Whitebeard sighed. The power of lightning is very difficult to defend against. It is almost impossible to contact the opponent, and it is indeed extremely difficult to stay away from the coverage of lightning. Rayleigh also commented. With the power of lightning, the physical body can't bear it at all, and you will get an electric shock if you touch it a little bit. Without the powerful observation hockey and armament hockey, it is impossible to defeat those with the ability to thunder. Rox is very experienced. No, there was a person with rubber ability who defeated him. Su Mu refuted Rock's point of view. Luffy. Rayleigh was taken aback. He hasn't heard of Luffy fighting this guy yet. Well, Luffy's ability is just insulated from lightning, so he has a chance to win. But the main reason is that Enel is too dependent on ability, and is weak in other aspects. Su Mu actually wanted to say that Luffy defeated Enel because of the aura of the protagonist. After all, Enel possessed the Logia Thunder Fruit, and was defeated by Luffy who should have no haki. Even if the rubber is insulated, lightning can generate super high heat energy, which can even melt metals such as gold, let alone rubber. Su Mu doesn't care about these anymore, it's all for plot needs. At this time, Golden Lion flew up again, somewhat embarrassed and extremely annoyed. He looked at Su Mu and the others, and found that everyone was staring at his bristling golden hair, and couldn't help but blushed. Shame. Or he was careless. Now that he knew Enel's abilities, he also knew how to deal with this guy next. He can't fight this guy at close range, he has to use Slash to attack from a distance. Slash Wave. Golden Lion's horrific slash, rushed out with haki, and rushed directly to Enel. However, Enel actually dodges ahead of time. Observation haki. Golden Lion was shocked. It seems that the opponent's observation haki is extremely good. Hey, Su Mu, didn't you say that this guy is poor in other aspects? It seems that he is very knowledgeable. Whitebeard also saw the scene just now. Oh, I forgot to say just now, this guy is very knowledgeable. Su Mu forgot that Enel's heart network skills are outstanding, able to cover the entire Sky Island, hear people's voices at any time, and then send down punishment from heaven. This Shinwang is similar to Su Mu's Shinwangtong skill. Therefore, Golden Lion was eavesdropped by Enel without any precautions and knew his plan in advance. Lion. Thousand Slice Valley. The Golden Lion went berserk, slashing wildly with two swords, and engulfed Enel densely with armament haki slashing. Thor. Enel knew the danger, and directly activated the strongest state. A silver thunder giant appears, which is Enel's Thor form. He held the huge thunder god spear with 1,000,000,000 volts in his hand, and he swung it wildly, smashing the Golden Lion's slashes one by one. If it is too late to smash it, he will activate the heart net to prevent and avoid it in advance. However, Golden Lion was a strong man who could fight Luogia at his peak, even Marine Admiral was no problem, how could his big move be so easy to resist? In Marineford, even Akainu was hit hard by this move. Although Enel is in the strongest Thor form, he is only strong in fruit ability, and he cannot avoid being cut at all. BWGB. B. Once the defense is broken, he can no longer block this terrifying slash. A series of slashes hit him, causing his Thunder God form to be continuously injured, and his whole body was covered with slash wounds. The Golden Lion's continuous slashing attacks directly drowned the giant Thor. When the Golden Lion's slash disappeared, Enel fell on the ark and regained his human form. He lay there motionless, not knowing whether he was alive or dead. Finally finished. Whitebeard grinned. Even Golden Lion's tense body relaxed, thinking that the opponent had been killed by him. This made him involuntarily let out a bad breath. Not yet, Su Mu said flatly. No, even if he doesn't die, he can't fight again. Rayleigh agrees with Whitebeard. Just wait and see. Su Mu didn't bother to explain. Golden Lion slowly flew towards the ark to find out. However, not long after flying out, Enel's body emitted an electric arc. At his heart, lightning flickered, causing his body to tremble. This is. Whitebeard frowned. It seems that things are not as he thought. It's self-shock, he wakes up by himself. Su Mu has long known Enel's characteristics. Sure enough, before the Golden Lion could pass, Enel stood up again. He gave himself a heart shock with lightning and revived himself again. It's just that it's obviously much weaker now than before. The self-shock is just to squeeze the potential, and the trauma to the body cannot be avoided. Gia ha ha ha, it's pretty hard to kill, let me finish it for you this time. Golden Lion is confident and has no scruples at all. Su Mu wants to subdue Enel, it would be better to kill him and revive him. Golden Lion has a deep understanding of this point. There is no doubt that he was able to finish Enel, but Su Mu stepped out. Shiki, let me do it. Su Mu wanted to do it himself. He has to tame Enel himself so that he can be convinced. Golden Lion nodded, although he was a little upset, but Su Mu said that he absolutely obeyed. Su Mu walked towards Enel, turned his wrist, and a slender silver longsword appeared. 21 Kung Fu Knives, Reikiri. Who are you to fight? Me. Enel felt hatred in his heart. Reikiri trembled, and there was an inexplicable light, which attracted all the thunder and lightning from the sky. Whoops. The terrifying thunder and lightning came one after another, but Reikiri couldn't do anything about it. Thick lightning bolts brewed in the sky, struck out in the thick dark clouds, and headed towards Su Mu's ferocious gathering. Call out. This is 1 billion volts, and the heat generated by the electricity can melt even metal, let alone the power of electricity. Now, he sees that Sumu is also eager for him, which makes him angry. After a while, Reikiri roared, seeming extremely satisfied and carefree. I haven't seen your real face yet, let's bloom, Reikiri. Sumu swung his saber, and a silver-white slash struck out, terrifying thunder and lightning bloomed in the slash. Go. It is like a bottomless pit, swallowing thunder and lightning. Without any accident, the huge thunderbolt directly cut Enel in half. Thunder God's Judgment. Enel was furious, and turned on Thor's state again, and the Thunder God's Judgment big move came, directly causing the entire sky to thunder and lightning, like the end of the world. Sumu raised the sword in his hand, facing the terrifying thunder and lightning that filled the sky. He is still a godlike existence, but after being defeated by Luffy, and now being defeated by Golden Lion, it is too much for his confidence. No, you are not qualified to fight with me, I just let you, a frog in the bottom of the well, take a good look at yourself. Sumu shook his head and said. This is a mixture of slash and lightning. Chapter 119. Enel boards the boat, a life of cheating. Advertise here. Sumu made a move, and with the help of Enel's lightning power, he cut Enel in the lightning state with one knife. This is the true power of Reikiri. Enel's huge Thor state is very powerful, and it has the ability of Logia, which is difficult for ordinary people to impress. Although he is good at other aspects, this ability is indeed bug. Haha, Enel, which was broken in half, elementalized and reassembled, but the whole person was much weaker again. Sumu didn't join hockey, otherwise Enel would have been seriously injured if he didn't die. But even so, the knife caused strong psychological pressure on Enel. He looked at Sumu with some fear, without the previous arrogance. In fact, the Golden Lion's fighting power has knocked him down from a god to a mortal, let alone Sumu. Sumu held the knife and walked towards Enel again. Enel looked at the silver long sword, feeling even more afraid in his heart. This sword seems to be able to swallow his lightning. For him, this sword is his nemesis. It really made him want to curse. He wanted to escape very much now, but when he saw that the resurrection could fly in the sky, he immediately dismissed the idea. His arc was not fast enough to carry him away at all. Now, there is only a frontal fight. However, the result he had expected. The person in front of him seemed to be his nemesis. Call out. While he was thinking, Sumu raised the knife again and cut Enel in half again. Enel. Before he started, Sumu didn't even say a word first. Improper Naizi. He regrouped again, his face paled a lot. Sumu didn't speak, and raised his knife to strike again. Stop, can you stop playing? Enel hastily called to stop. He didn't dare to fight anymore, otherwise he would be consumed to death. He knew that guy didn't use any strength at all, and it was easy to deal with him. If you want to kill him, I am afraid it will be very easy. But since he didn't kill himself, he would definitely stop when he begged for mercy. Sure enough, the man stopped, much to Enel's relief. Enel, for me, you are really too weak. If it weren't for your good fruit ability and your great potential, I would really like to kill you directly. Sumu said lightly. What he said was the truth, otherwise he would gobble it up and grab the fruit himself. However, he was already too strong, and one more fruit would not have much impact on his combat power. But Enel is different. He has great potential. If he trains in the training room of the resurrection, he will definitely improve greatly in a short period of time. For him, it was too close before, and he had no contact with other strong people at all. So whether it is his fault ability or observation hockey, it is all self-exploration, and there is no reference from others. Keep him in the training room, and his armament hockey will increase, and his other abilities will improve across the board. At that time, it will be no problem to have another strong player like Ace. You know my name is Enel. You, who are you? Enel asked. My name is Sumu. It's your luck to meet you here. Follow me and be my crew member. I can take you to kill God. Sumu stated the purpose directly. Kill God. Enel's eyes widened. He called himself a god. Did this guy change his mind again and wanted to kill himself? Are you worthy of God? Sumu saw Enel's shock and asked. I don't deserve it. Enel had to bow his head. If he resisted again, he was really afraid of being killed. In Suemu's eyes, he saw the horror that made him tremble, like a hell Shura. This person is absolutely decisive. If he disobeyed, he would definitely not even have scum left. The gods I'm talking about are those self-proclaimed mobs on the red line. Sumu explained. Celestial dragons. Enel finally understood. Even though he lives on Sky Island, he knows who rules the world. Haha. Haha. Celestial dragons. He laughed. The celestial dragons have a blood feud with him. Their family originally lived in the Red Line, but was conquered by the world government and the family was destroyed. He fled from the Red Line to Sky Island, where he proclaimed himself a god, but in fact he feared and hated celestial dragons. Why did you kill the celestial dragons? You have a grudge against them? Enel asked. He was very curious that someone would dare to do something to the ruler of the world. Stop talking nonsense, you will understand in the future. Come with me, I don't want to waste any more time here, Sumu said impatiently, and turned to fly towards the resurrection. He still has a month to go and needs to improve his strength as soon as possible. Enel looked confused. But he still had to drive the flying boat and follow Su Mu to the resurrection. Looking at the people on the resurrection, especially the powerful aura blooming from them, Enel felt awe-inspiring. What kind of monsters are these? He felt that everyone here seemed to be able to defeat him. This is a group of strong people, maybe they can really kill gods. Ding, Marine Admiral Fujitora boarded the ship, rewarding 15 resurrection points. Ding, Enel boards the boat, rewarding you with 10 resurrection points. Ding, sign in on Enel Thor, and you will be rewarded with a bottle of Observation Hockey Booster, a bottle of Armament Hockey Booster, and a bottle of Conqueror's Hockey Booster. The rewards of the system arrive as scheduled. This time, in addition to 25 more resurrection points, Su Mu also got an additional bottle of each of the 3 hockey enhancers. This is a huge bonus. Su Mu never expected that he could get such a rich extra reward after fighting Enel. Now, his Conqueror's hockey are all advanced. And these hockey enhancers can make his hockey all-round upgrade to the peak level. This is another huge improvement to his strength. Because, this summoned devil fruit can actually communicate with the super dimension. Such as Garp, Luogia, Rayleigh, etc., even without devil fruit, the combat effectiveness is ridiculously strong, that is because they have powerful hockey. Only then did he remember that this was an extra reward for signing in when fighting rocks. In other words, he can use this special devil fruit to summon people from other worlds. If he were to play against the rocks again, he feels like he'll win easily. The cheating life is just so awesome. He looked at the table, and introduced the devil fruit. Today, Su Mu's hockey has already tied with the rocks, the Sea Overlord. In One Piece world, hockey is the root of the strong. Su Mu, who was resting in her own room on the 3rd floor of the Resurrection pirate ship, happened to have time to study at this time. The name is a little weird. Su Mu once felt that the system was wrong. However, when he saw the detailed introduction of the system, he had to be amazed, it really is Super Paramesha. Why is there an extra word, Super? Ultra Paramesha summon devil fruit. This is really a product of the system, it is really a bug. In addition, he suddenly discovered that there was a devil fruit in the system backpack. Without hesitation, Su Mu drank 3 bottles of hockey enhancer directly. Chapter 120. The first summoned character, the green-haired Tsunere girl. Advertise here. The pirate ship Resurrection carried everyone in the sky, and it would take another hour to reach Cake Island. Taking advantage of this time, Su Mu was in her room, preparing to study this super paramesha summoning devil fruit. This is the first time he has encountered this special devil fruit, which can establish a connection with other worlds. Worlds, full of wonders. In different time and space dimensions, different human beings live, with different names and stories. Su Mu, who is an earthling, is very familiar with this point. In the book, there are too many descriptions of various worlds. So when Su Mu saw the profile of this devil fruit, he knew it. Below the introduction of this devil fruit, there is another piece of information. The powerhouses summoned from other worlds are random, the top 5 are determined by the system, and then Su Mu can directly select the candidates who meet the requirements. Closing square bracket. Every time a person is summoned, the summoning value must be full before they can be summoned again. The acquisition of summoning points is determined by the shock and influence caused by the summoned person coming to this world. The system will issue summoning points according to the specific situation. Closing square bracket. The strength of the strong summon from other worlds will be suppressed by the rules of this world, and the combat power should not be too exaggerated, and must not exceed the upper limit of the ceiling. Closing square bracket. The summoned person, in the action order, absolutely obeys Su Mu, but the individuality will be completely preserved. Closing square bracket. The summoned person only obeys Su Mu's order, and everyone else in this world can act according to their heart without restraint. Closing square bracket. Opening square bracket. The system's remarks on this devil fruit let Su Mu further understand the usage and restrictions of this devil fruit. This is not a problem at all for Su Mu. He stretched out his hand, and a devil fruit shining with thousands of rays of light appeared in his hand. The shape of this devil fruit is already extremely special. It is fundamentally different from other devil fruits, and it also has 10,000 rays of light, which are so devastating that people can't open their eyes. Looking at the devil fruit in his hand, Su Mu hesitated for a while. Can this stuff be eaten? Can it be digested after eating? Will it glow in his belly, making him like a little sun? Hee. I have thought so much. Since the system recognizes it as devil fruit, it is edible, but it is a bit special. Su Mu comforted herself. Put this devil fruit, which is twice the size of other devil fruits, into your mouth. This taste. Su Mu's eyes widened in shock. Before, he ate other devil fruits in one gulp. Because devil fruit is too bad to eat, not much better than eating a pile of shit. But this devil fruit actually melted in his mouth, making his entire taste buds melt. His whole body and mind felt light and comfortable, as if Hollow had ascended to immortality. Su Mu felt that in his body, the myriad rays of sunlight melted into his blood and muscles, and he began to restrain himself, but there was an inexplicable affinity. That's an affinity for the world. This special power seems to allow him to open the barriers of the world and build bridges with other worlds. This is the summoning ability. After Su Mu ate this devil fruit, I already know how to use it, and I also know that this devil fruit is the same as playing a devil fruit, and there is no development level. It is used directly, and the system decides to summon people in the early stage. In the later stage, Su Mu can summon people on his own. At this point, Su Mu is very much looking forward to it. The so-called summoning value refers to the impact of the summoned person on the world, which he has already noticed. Influences. Destroy. There is everything that has a big ticket. The only thing that makes Su Mu unhappy is that the people who come from this kind of summoning are not counted as the people he subdued or resurrected, and there are no resurrection points, otherwise the pirate ship will continue to break through. Ding! The first time you summon a character, you don't need summoning points, and the system will automatically activate it. At this time, the voice of the system rang in Su Mu's mind. This made the corners of Su Mu's mouth rise, and a smile spread across his face. I'm coming. People from other worlds are coming. He is not alone. With a roar of joy, Su Mu ran out of his room and jumped onto the deck. Captain Su Mu, what makes you so excited? Golden Lion asked. To Su Mu, who has always been calm, he also said that this behavior is very abnormal now. Su Mu's voice and actions attracted everyone. Su Mu looked at them and couldn't help laughing. We're about to have a new companion. Anyone else on board? Whitebeard became interested. Who will it be this time? Even if you have a new companion, it's not worth your excitement, is it? Rayleigh questioned. Everyone nodded, agreeing with Rayleigh's point of view very much. Not long ago, even when Marine Admiral Fujitora boarded, Su Mu was simply happy, but not as excited as she is now. You don't understand, our new companion will be special because he comes from another world. Su Mu pretended to be mysterious. Another world. The underworld. You have a new purpose for resurrection? Rox asked. The other world they can think of is where the soul goes after death. Underworld. No, it is a character in another world in a different time and space, but it does exist vividly. Su Mu explained. But obviously, his explanation didn't help much, and others didn't understand what he meant at all. But it doesn't matter. When people are really summoned, they will naturally understand. What is this doing? The next moment, the city issued an alarm, and strange people have been attacking the city, destroying and devouring human beings. Which world is this? Su Mu muttered to himself. Su Mu asked everyone to back away a little, and then mysteriously summoned the ability. In the palm of his hand, a beam of 10,000 rays of light appeared, directly bombarding the void. Just do it. That monster seemed to be so strong that it could destroy a tall building with a single slap. He also doesn't know who the system is summoning this time, and which world this is. Whitebeard and the others frowned and looked at the world behind the door, a little confused. At this time, a little girl with green hair appeared in the picture, condescendingly looking down at the strange man who was shot to death by her special ability on the ground, with deep contempt and disdain in her eyes. Tsunere Group. There are many high-rise buildings and heavy traffic, full of modern atmosphere. A special rhythm vibrated in the void, and then everyone discovered that the beam of myriad rays of light pierced through the void, as if opening a strange door. However, in the next second, it was directly hit by an invisible force, and its powerful body was slammed on the ground by an unspeakable force, directly smashing it into scum. Can you guess who she is? Guess the prize. Behind that door is a city. She has a baby face, big eyes, and wears a skirt that is slit to the thighs. When the wind blows, the skirt will be blown up.